Let's see.
This is important.
Yeah.
This one's important because
I'm excited.
I don't think OPTIC should commit to banning Icebox because I actually think that's something DRX would like to get rid of.
Yeah.
That's something like if they commit to that, then okay. I think that for them, it wouldn't have mattered what their opponents necessarily were going to pick or ban. They themselves didn't want to take that risk because they were first banned. I was wondering who would be first banned, and because OPTIC was, they couldn't take the risk that maybe their opponents wouldn't.
Yeah, I almost see that as a bit of confidence as well, being willing to float that map on through, expecting DRX to not have something, or expecting them to maybe even have something prepped against that map, supposing that OPTIC would have played that game of chicken. But with those vetoes through, we do get OPTIC selecting Fracture. This has been an excellent map for them. I talked about Victor. This is where his Neon really shines. DRX go in for the Breeze, which has been probably their best map this tournament.
Yeah, I was worried. I actually put down on my notes, does OPTIC get rid of Breeze? If they don't, why don't they? Is that because they're scared of the Icebox? That map will be where I am watching, like with a fine-tooth comb for OPTIC.
Yeah, and in that one as well, it is where OPTIC makes big changes to the way they play. It's kind of Yay taking a bit of a backseat, more of a primary role for Victor, playing towards the Jet. It's something that, similar to their Icebox, they only just integrated towards the end of regional competition in Stage 2, and with DRX being so good, I'm a little worried about them on that map, but Bind is our third.
Wow. I'm not sure what to expect of these map vetoes because, as everyone knows, I love to run simulations and everything, and not knowing who was going to ban first, I kind of took a little bit of the gamble that they would get rid of the Breeze instead of the Icebox, and that actually shakes things up considerably for how I view the advantage of map veto now going forward.
Well, you're not the only one that likes to run simulations, because I looked, well, I mean, I didn't really run a simulation. I don't know where the segue was, but this is actually the first time that DRX are going to play an NA team on Bind. So it's actually quite fascinating.
So you're supposing it goes to map 3?
I would really like to see that, and I'm sure everyone at home would like to as well. But first, we are going to have to chill out for a little bit. We got to pay some bills, all right? We broke down the maps. We know where we're going to be playing. All that's left is to just make the walk happen, and then we have some agent select. So that's going to be coming up right after this, folks. Don't go anywhere.
I would say.
Sheesh. All right, damn.
Here we go. Prime Gaming Agent Select. Let's see what the choices are going to be here for both of these teams. Mimi, what are we going with?
Yeah, it wouldn't expect any changes coming on through. Like I said, both these teams, same composition, just a bit of a different flavor. But wait a second. We go actually over to the Fade choice for DRX. That's a little bit different. They've toyed with a few different comps on this map between the more traditional OPTIC one and that Fade, which they ran more recently. So that will be the pick they commit to.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, look, against Darm 1, that was such a good win, but then really solidified in my mind that composition works for them when they were able to dismantle FPX. So, you know, they've done it against a couple of teams. I think it works for them.
Still, I'm not as big of a fan of the Fade when you compare that to having the option of that Breach when you are playing the Neon instead of the Raze. I think Fade is excellent when you do combine it with the Raze on this map, but I think you might just get more value out of the Breach here when you are playing with Neon. It's been great for them thus far.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot of people say if you don't bring the Breach, you're trolling. So we'll see if they're trolling or not.
All right, we will see. We're ready to go. So let's send it over to our casters. They have a real point guard and power forward energy. It's Tug and Bala.
Thank you, GB. Easy for you to say that from the bench.
I was a point guard, by the way.
What is that? So I'm the power forward, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The stage is set. History up for grabs. More so on the side of DRX, but Bala, you can feel the tension building. The Des was talking about it. It's business time.
Yeah, and the players look ready. There's so much at stake. DRX, I mean, Crash has even said in an interview before this that he knows they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. He knows they're going to be coming for revenge after dropping to them at Reykjavik.
And it was such a close match.
It was so good.
And I want to say it was Jess who said it on the desk. That may have felt like a slightly different team, or maybe it's Mimi, but either way, I do think that this is a stronger looking DRX. The counter to that, though, is OPTIC certainly looks better as well.
Yeah, the last 2 games for them have been absolutely clinical. And right off the bat, they're going heavy into tree. RB's the only person here on the outside of the smoke.
Victor on the other side, too. You see both Neons. They've already made their intentions exceptionally clear. They're going to want to dictate the pace on both sides.
And they're not stopping DRX. Both smokes down.
They funneled their way through. Finesse still playing up in tower crash. He does fall in. There it is, the right click on the classic. It's just too good. He spots more info. 3 players swinging on the other side, and he has to give up the space.
I love how Marv is there to back him up to fall away.
Yeah.
All 3 players wanted Finesse's skin.
Now the plant starting to get committed to by Stacks as EA creeps his way forward, and I think he may be coming through here undetected. There's no utility to keep him back. Knife giving position away. My gosh, okay, he was there. He had the angle, but he just gets destroyed. Now Marv's left in this 1v2. And he's got to go, so he gets a 2-1v1, has to reload as the clip runs dry. Zest running for the fences, trying to play time. He spotted him. Zest still trying to relocate. Marv 60 HP, he's gonna get a couple of shots at it, hasn't landed it yet. 5 bullets, has to push forward, has to swing around, and Zest with 4 to get DRX the pistol.
That's an unbelievably great start from Zest, the IGL for DRX. And after last series that they had against each other, he definitely has a lot of pressure on his shoulder. It definitely felt like Finesse was able to outcall him in that series. And if he's already going for 4 on the pistol round, you know that chip on his shoulder is real.
Against Marv too, man. How cold has that guy been this tournament?
He's been insane. Actually, with Mako topping the running for the best controller performance of all time at some of these global events. And both of them are trying to beat their own records from Reykjavik.
You've got controller versus controller, perhaps the best controllers in the game matching up right now. You've got a very robust conversation to be had around the best initiators in the game going head-to-head right now. You've got Finesse and Zest. Like, I mean, the story writes itself.
Yeah,
man.
potentially best IGLs. Although, of course, some of the LGLs in the lower bracket right now, and Benkai as well should be out of that conversation.
But really, I mean, you get your pick of the litter. Whatever flavor of Valorant you like, there's something here for you.
That's so true.
And holding the angle, the Prowler in his face, not able to land a shot. Finesse realizing he's got a whole lot before him as well as he falls. Numbers heavily in favor of DRX as the gun difference is highlighted. You've got Spectres, you've got Bulldogs all going up against the pistols, and it's just a little whimper, really. No Frenzies either. We've seen Frenzies be so problematic in this tournament, but none of that.
We have seen OPTIC increase their amount of force buys, but obviously on the defensive side, that's going to be much lower frequency anyways.
1 enemy remaining.
Crash, he's still able to take one down with him.
They're also not a team that invests much at all in terms of the frenzies, in terms of the sheriffs.
Yep.
They really want to build the bank. They want to have good odds in the gun rounds, and that really does work out.
We'll see if it works out in this next round. DRX able to clean things up relatively cleanly. Buzz, the only one that falls. But as you were saying, now we're back to gun rounds, right? Now we're back on what should be more favorable footing for the North American representatives. We'll see how they choose to play this out.
And it's interesting, actually. There is a conversation to be had about OPTIC leaning towards Fracture here, given that they've been historically leaning towards Split at this tournament.
Yeah.
And
in some cases, it's been banned out, but no, I think you're absolutely right.
yeah. Surprised to not see them go for Ascent, actually, given what we saw from DRX against Leviathan.
Shutting them down.
A bit more of a sloppy game from DRX. But also OPTIC not really finding some strength. That's a great first pick from Ye onto RB, and there's no more real pressure that you can put on with the speed.
Tempo may be lacking, but Buzz is still able to take care of Crashies. Marv's going to fall as well as you see this crossfire line up across the site. Victor now joining the fold.
Spike down
Flank
B.
from Mako.
Continues to be problematic. 2v2 here. Bulldog still in the hands of Stacks.
1 enemy remaining.
Not able to make anything else happen with that Spectre. It's all going to fall into Stacks here.
1 enemy
Such a heavy
remaining.
topic of conversation. Gets it down to a 1v1 late in this round. Finesse, healthy, fully armored up. Everything before him. The flash, the swing out, and Stacks. What was that? The Red Bull clutch comes through early. He had to have been fully blind.
No, he turned that, Doug. He turned that within the 500 milliseconds it takes for that thing to pop. Maybe a bit readable from Finesse after he gets the stun off. Confident that Stacks is stunned. And then the pick from Victor, or onto Victor as well. Look, full turn.
I thought it had been hit more than that.
Insane. And that's now 2 Red Bull clutches already for DRX.
Teleport's ready.
Somewhere where OPTIC had a great advantage against XSET in their opening game of playoffs.
I mean, they had a field day in those instances, yeah. Again, the opening kill goes in favor of DRX. Be interesting to see what the stats are on that, because it feels like they've won all of them.
Yeah. Potentially the pistol round didn't go their way, but either way, you're right. And specifically as well, Buzz making it work on these opening kills too. The matchup between him and Ye actually is much more even than you think at this event. Maybe even Buzz has the edge, given Ye's slight underperformance.
I mean, he's got to be, what, top 20 player at the tournament?
Ye's actually the top 21 player right now.
Quite actually 21st.
That is crazy for Ye, and it doesn't go through again.
Maybe 22nd now. All jokes aside, when you've got a Neon doing that in front of you, I mean, difficult to say the least. RB gets the third on the round, cleans things up. DRX get to 4. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that flick from Sax in the previous round.
You're right, though, about the concept of the RB dashing around, jumping around, being really, really hard to hit. But that was something that he was really, really good at when they played Fracture early on in the tournament. He was so good at avoiding the other chamber shots, just like that. And it has made him kind of a monster to deal with.
Let's get this done.
Adopting this Optic comp, he has been a bright spot within it.
Map deployed.
Operator in the hands of Ye for the first time in the map. He's about to get a contest right in front of him. And again, it very well may be RB. This time the flash comes through. He lands a shot onto him anyway. No command online.
Your fear.
And the Nightfall. They're pulling committing. There's an overstrike that's been layered into this as well as they try to clear out tower. Now what do? Mako with the plant.
Spike planted.
Crashes with the no-no, getting caught in tower while there's an orbital strike here, and Victor on the flank again. He didn't find much success with it last time, but this Rolling Thunder is great.
Edge sets up Victor perfectly, but you haven't dealt with Mako as he takes care of 2 more on the side of Optic. Orbital strike being traded out. Mark is left in a 1v1. We've seen this before. First time doesn't go his way. Can he find success this time around? He's looking the wrong way, and he's not able to land the shots. Buzz gets another.
And that's 3 1v1 clutches now for DRX1. And Optic have got to be kicking themselves. How to recover here. Man, DRX is hungry. Marv not quick enough. And there's how Mako gets those first 2 kills after the retake starts. It's beautiful. And that wasn't a round where they actually did get the first kill. Ye turned that flash. But once the smokes went down, Ye, no value found.
Short course slips online. Oh, and it looks like they're just going to try to fight into halls. You got the fast lane to try to keep a little something evade. The short course able to take care of 1. Not much more being found. I thought he was going to be up to more. I thought the picks were coming through, but no, Mako stuffs another. That's 3 on the round already. And Crashies is left alone with what's now upgraded to a Stinger. Happening.
What a start from DRX.
I was having conversations with Victor actually yesterday, and we were talking about DRX specifically and what kind of team they are, and it was really interesting to hear him describe them because there is an element of respect that they have for this team. Like, they understand that they are worthy adversaries. DRX is not something to kind of troll at or kind of like look over. They hold DRX at high regard.
Yeah, I mean, that respect is well deserved given how far they pushed Optic in the tournament that they end up winning. So I'm not just surprised to hear Victor say that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was shared sentiment along the rest of the team. I think specifically at Finesse, like when there's a team on the other side of the server who is tactically strong, he's going to respect that. Who makes him work for the good reads. Who makes him work to download that playbook. And they need this timeout right now because things are going completely wrong.
Now, mind you, there is still time to salvage the half, right? As you think about Optic and their let's go with regular recipe, their formula, if you will. They perhaps get challenged, maybe even a little bullied initially, but there comes a moment in the half where things get downloaded, like you said, and it feels like this would be the moment if it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely it will, but I think all that thinking is happening with the undertone of we're going to Breeze next.
Sure.
And the Des touched on it. That's going to be a massive challenge because DRX actually does play Breeze. And it's somewhat unlucky for Optic to go up against a Breeze team, but it was going to happen eventually.
Right.
Most of the time in this tournament, they picked a great map. Ooh, yay with the first shot on the RB. Jumping again, still manages to hit it.
2 rounds in a row now that he's able to get the opener. Perhaps this is the round in which they can convert it to a win. Finally get one on the board.
Actually, I think it's
bleeding.
3 rounds, too. Tour de Force last round, the op in the first as well in the round before, and Victor's in a great angle to take down Mako. That's what happens when you gain map control and somebody like Marv is holding the backside for you.
On the money.
And they're up 3 players now. They were undefeated in these situations against XSET. Anytime they got a first kill, they won the round, but I might have spoken to you earlier. There's still a lot of room here for DRX.
Buzz with the Tour de Force is only ultimate really in play here. He's got the Phantom. Can't imagine he chooses to use it.
Crashes can just null command it away as well.
Exactly. There's the knife. That was a filthy flick. As Marv gets taken care of. Again, this was a 2v, what, a
30
2v5?
seconds left.
2v5.
Into a 2v4, now a 2v3.
Both double swinging heaven out of tower. Nobody's really holding it, but Ye's finally here. And a great stun, actually, from Finesse.
So patient. First hop shot goes wide. They've gotten it down to a 2v1. Finesse
10 seconds left.
with 9 seconds
Aftershock?
left. Yeah, he's going to have to do this by himself, but he waits.
Spike planted.
Spike gets planted.
You want to play?
And now the Tour de Force comes online. The flash there. What does Finesse do? How does he go into this? They just lost a 2v5.
And
That is disaster.
the best opening picks, the best start of a round you could have imagined. And OPTIC is not a team that loses those. They're the ones who end up pivoting the rounds away. But Zest and Buzz played this very well. Obviously mistakes on OPTIC sides. You don't lose those without massive mistakes, massive blunders. I think the first one being marved. The second one, Ye missing the shot, and there's nobody there either. To follow up, Victor's gonna go for a fast push here with Marv to smoke and a breach fault line from Finesse.
Serious elements of concern here as Victor already falls again. RB swinging his way out, and they're just going to line up for him. He's able to clean him up third through with 2 more still up for grabs.
1 enemy remaining.
Unless Mako has something to say about it. Yeah, he's left alone in this 1v5, and while, yes, the previous round just happened, you kind of wonder
Spike down B.
if they're going to be able to pull this one out. He's gotten it to 1v4. Spotted RB even out the prowler in his face. It's a tough ask.
I mean, yeah, just a headhunter 2, 7 bullets. They're all swinging together.
Spike planted.
A little bit more damage dealt. He's able to clean up Buzz. 1v3. They're wrapping around him. Look at RB, he's taking the scenic route. He's going to try to punish him, and it's Zest who cleans things up. I remember Ball a stat where essentially the conversation was OPTIC seldom lose rounds out of timeouts.
Yeah. And they haven't, yeah.
And one just goes sideways there.
Both rounds after the timeout, after the 6-0, and we're at 8-0. And that was a beautiful counter to the eco attempt from OPTIC. Just one flash by Stacks. Heads up play from him, and also great protocol, clearly, where they're easily able to mop up Victor. And then the follow-up is so difficult because there's no real utility on the other side. So, I mean, at this point, call another timeout.
Enemy suppressed.
So many ults now for DRX too. This defense is getting ripped to shreds. And nobody is stepping up on OPTIC's side.
Where does the answer come from? Victor gets a little bit of damage there from the op shot out of Buzz.
Finally, Ye is going for some space on Tree here. And it might net him 1, maybe 2 kills.
If they rotate into him.
Hello?
What? He didn't see it. Or perhaps he was patient. Perhaps didn't think that they could see him, and he tries to hold the angle, see if anyone swings around.
I don't know. That's a slow reaction right there.
Sure. Either way, able to net the kill, get the advantage.
And this is what I was hoping for, right? Somebody to take initiative, and it's going to be Ye. But he was so cautious on that approach while they were pressuring in halls.
Stacks playing with fire. Oh my gosh, the timing.
And the timing to pull back his TP too, he's in trouble.
And then, well, even if it was there, the knife's going to cause problems. Now the no command online. Zest falls, who's currently top fragging for DRX, by the way. Ye falls, orbital strike through to delay. No plant down yet. RB trying to deny info, deny vision with that fast lane.
Ooh, Victor's going up the rope right now to the north side, and thankfully for RB, he's in the underpass, so he shouldn't be caught, but Stax could be.
And he's waiting for it. Counter, no command. Oh, but he's not looking. There goes, he falls down. He's able to land the shots onto Victor. The flank, no longer an issue. 3v3 here on the round. RB still healthy. Crashes on the tap. Not able to get it to half, not able to get it to much of anything. It's going to be Marv and Buzz in a 1v1, and Buzz wins another!
The score, 9-0. This is deflation.
How many 1v1s have there been? 5?
Counting 4 potentially. I mean, I'm losing count at this point. And OPTIC have not won a single one. It's the same situation to Marv against Buzz. They need to get things under control. This is their last attempt, and even still, so far gone already. Shocking scenes in Copenhagen.
You mentioned another OPTIC. Timeout comes through. Nobody on the side of OPTIC currently with a positive KD. Not one. Yay is the closest at 8 and 9, but they have found no success anywhere. Whereas on the side of DRX, the only person who doesn't have a positive KD is Stax, and he's 6 and 6.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't paint the whole picture on what's gone on, I don't know how else to put it more succinctly.
I've never seen a team dismantle OPTIC in the way that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Ever since the days of maybe that Masters Berlin final against M3C. And DRX is delivering on so many levels. Buzz with the multiple 1v1s. RB with the speed. Throwing off the entire game plan. And we just watched Paper Rex, so you can see how much value that sort of thing can have.
RB has his overdrive online. Fast lane there. Victor pushing his way in, and he gets dropped again by Buzz. Mako joins in on the fun. Yeah, you hear his tour de force was used at the beginning of the round. Orbital strike now. Finesse tries to get away. He tries to get to safety, and there's no solace to be found. 4v2 here on the rounds. That's with the spike down. This would require a vintage OPTIC moment just to get one bloody round on the board.
Yeah, but DRX is making no mistakes, Doug.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, holding a tight angle. Is there 2 players down below? Yay.
One enemy remaining.
Couple of shots behind the head. Zets gets a 2K on the round. DRX gets a 10.
And that was brilliant again. The fast lane pressure that they're putting on in halls. OPTIC tried to find a solution. It was Victor just going into it. But there's way too many people covering RB. There's not enough utility being put down on their position. And meanwhile, the flashes are just so good from DRX. Stax is having a game, even though he's 6 and 6 right now. That flash for Finesse to get hit by, he just ran into the orbital strike while full blind. He had no clue what was happening. All he could hear is the damage ticks happening, and he just knew he was dead that second.
Pinch on the northern side of the map for OPTIC. Not going to find anything there.
I mean, this is the most map control they've had all game. Oh no. Marv is just staring at his blunder.
I mean, what do you say?
Like,
is that not this map? Right.
He was trying to block off the trademark just for the explanation. And eventually he'll break it, but DRX is just like, yeah, you guys can have the north side.
I mean, have we ever seen OPTIC lack as much composure as this? Rolling Thunder through to push them back.
He's away. He's just gone. And now, yay. He's in a great position to actually set up Crashes here, but Crashes only has a Guardian. And if they go for the sand pinch, this is unstoppable. The pinch is too strong.
Be a tough angle, or perhaps yeah, he's just going to be able to clean him up himself. Even with the smoke, even with the Rolling Thunder that was used quickly, it takes Yay getting 4 for OPTIC to get 1.
Maybe the map control did work out.
That was the plan all along.
I mean, absolutely. taking that fast control, very, very good. DRX this time, they didn't really default much. And yeah, what a...
That hurts.
Look
at his
face. It's like, did I really just do that?
Did that just happen?
Did I
real?
I'm marved, bro.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, those are tough scenes. Tough scenes in the OPTIC camp. But alas, they finally have gotten on the board.
Want to play? Let's play.
Perhaps a couple of rounds late, but they've done it. OPTIC tried, or excuse me, Victor tried making a play.
This is getting ridiculous. He just ran into all of them.
RB just tanking the molly. Finesse has no idea that he was there, but he somehow manages to swing around, laying the shots on him anyway. Still pays for it with his life.
Teleport's ready.
OPTIC here just looking for any victory.
Last player standing.
Once again, it's Marved by himself. Buzz, his nemesis, on the other side, still alive, even if he takes care of Mako and Zest. But it was Buzz who takes care of him at the end. An 11-to-1/2 on Fracture.
Switching sides.
This that OPTIC made their playground. They pioneered this composition.
Yep.
They made this map theirs. To get punched in the mouth for 12 rounds in a row is astounding. Let's throw it down to the desk.
That's a good.
Thank you so much, Shubi. Yeah, for DRX, they just kind of come in fresh into the second half. They're comfortable, they're cozy, while OPTIC roll into this battle scarred and travel worn. No real idea as to what's happened for the last 12 rounds, and now they somehow have to find their footing and make a run at this.
Those halftime conversations have just got to be pure pain for OPTIC.
What do you say?
I mean, Finesse has got to be raging. He's got to be so mad.
Yeah, but I wonder if at this point it's been so bad. Or, I mean, like, are you
It's
just...
a write-off?
Yeah, are you thinking Breeze?
No, man. I don't see it.
Drop the copium take. I know there's a little something in there.
Okay.
I'm pull it at
okay.
it.
I
What is
got
it?
you. As this pistol round goes on, the last time these guys faced, OPTIC did go down 9-3 in the first map. They lost that map, but brought it back, and then won the series.
Even the copium take hurts. 4v2 here in favor of DRX. The pistol that really needed to go OPTIC's way is well, it's not. And it doesn't.
Dude, maybe we need to start our new revenge match narrative, because DRX is just stomping them into the ground. Crashy said he knew they were going to have a chip on the shoulder, but I don't think he realized the chip was this big.
Match point.
Match point on round 14.
Within 20 minutes.
We're speedrunning this thing.
DRX is speedrunning this thing. They just want to go straight to that or the upper semis, upper finals. What am I saying? This game has got me frazzled. They want to play with the crowd. They want to reach the grand finals. Where, by the way, DRX regionally undefeated when they make it to grand finals. Yeah, he's already gone. This is four Spectres.
Yeah, man, Flash.
And the pace is all the way up, but he makes a classic sing somehow. He was knifed.
Yeah, he had everything in his lap, man. Flash is really both.
This Flash could hurt. They're playing anti-Flash against everything here.
And OPTIC are making a run at
Player
this.
standing.
They've gotten it down to a 1v3. And Zest with the Bulldog in hand somehow has to find his way through Crashy's Finesse and Marved.
And Smokes.
And Smokes. And then get the spike.
And in normal situations, you'd want OPTIC to be chasing this gun down a little bit. But obviously right now they want to keep all the Spectres they can. This Bulldog could cause problems. Marved has got to get this kill. And nothing is going their way, minus this round. Second on the board.
Just such a long road back into this thing, man. They're staring up Mount Everest right now.
Yeah.
To try to get the series to something respectable, because again, Breeze is on the other side of this.
Yeah. This map veto right now, I said all the conversations they're having within timeouts, within that halftime, are said with the subtext that they know they're going to Breeze. And OPTIC, sure, they've won 2 maps of Breeze so far since they started not banning it. but it was a strategic choice given the field at Copenhagen was not going to be playing Breeze. Now, might have just cost them this semifinals.
Let's see what happens. See if they can get their way out of this one. Marv's able to get 2 clean ones. He actually gets a third, as there's not much bite behind what DRX brought in here. Really pistols the whole way.
Still the Bulldog. That was impressive from Marv nonetheless. He's got his ult for the next round.
Did I ever tell you about the time that the best team in the world found themselves down 11-1 at half and came back and won? I tell you that story?
You know, it sounds like a story that has actually happened. They would need, I mean, it's already not a perfect half, but from here on out, every single round. Sounds like a tall tale to me, Doug.
The odds are just so heavily against him, man. But OPTIC, just take it round at a time. See if maybe they can make something happen. Oddly enough, for as much of a stomp as it's been, I'm pretty sure that's the first Prime Gaming flawless that we've had in the
Yeah, it could
map,
have been. It absolutely could have been.
which is kind of wild.
That works.
I like how he's just ziplining too, just having some fun. He's like, hold on, let me just take an excursion here on Fracture.
Out of charge.
Enemy remaining.
Need to hear the comms. Was he actually making wee sounds?
I hope so. I hope so. And Ye was still smiling back there, by the way.
Yeah, he doesn't stop smiling.
That's true. I don't think I've ever
Regardless.
seen him not smile. Yeah. 16th round before us is OPTIC have taken full control of halls. There is an alarm bot on the other side. It seems like they want to push into sand here. Marv has that ultimate, as you mentioned in the previous round. See if he chooses to avail himself of that resource, given the right circumstances as well. There really is no room for ROM circumstances here. Again, DRX on that point.
I do like that fast lane that he used out of halls. Helps them to control the front side of sight before hitting in the site.
Finesse waiting for the rotations. Mako's going to be the first one to go down. A second, a third. Oh, I thought he was going to do it. It was actually Victor who was there to help, but the shot's still crispy out of the leader for OPTIC.
And Victor was in time too. Even if Finesse dies, Victor might get a trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And escape.
As you see RB, oddly enough, trying to escape. No, it's Victor who falls. I mean, the spike's on the opposite side of the map, and there are 4 members here on this western side. Look at RB. Trouble on the other side.
Player standing.
There's a little bit of trouble, slight trouble. Takes one with him, Buzz left alive, Buzz left alone.
It's funny too, because a situation just like that happened in the XX game, and BCJ almost ninja'd against them. Okay, Buzz falls. He's trying to save a gun, it didn't work.
It's interesting too, I thought for sure he was out of reach. But alas, as you're right, Buzz falls, not able to carry that weapon in. And that's actually pretty considerable here, as you see, because of that.
Yeah.
They have nothing other than pistols. Now, RB has the ult, he's got light armor, and he has a frenzy. Maybe decides to use that, but not much else there.
I mean, if they turn a killer, the eco strat into a killer too, that overdrive definitely could work.
Mako too, 1 point away from the orbital strike.
Paired with some stuns could be very, very dangerous. So you're right. OPTIC in some trouble. If they get trapped, they're pushing the pace. They want to trap Ye, but he's gone. Meanwhile, everybody from OPTIC walking into arcade.
That man is a loony. There was that overdrive that you mentioned as Ye falls, stacks patient as he delivers the shots onto Victor, and there's that orbital strike that we talked about, but it's actually from the other side. Marv's able to take care of stacks. Crashes is left in a 1v2. Laser beams going all over him. He's able to get it to a 1v1. Crashies is there, and another 1v1 lost. What a poetic way for that map to end. 13-4 as OPTIC just get punched in the mouth.
That's a haymaker. DRX. Happy with this disgusting thing that they just did. How do you even come back from that? Starts off with, I mean, a clutch in the pistol round, stacks it this nasty 1v2. Just over and over and over, they were punching in the mouth.
You know, it was Benjamin Disraeli who said, what we anticipate seldom occurs, what we least expect is generally what happens. Now, these are two very good teams, but did you expect this?
Not even close.
Disraeli was right.
Don't know who that is, but I'll take it.
We'll talk about it later. Yeah, man, OPTIC just really dismantled. Was not much fight
Hey,
in
Jay's
them.
not smiling.
Ye goes positive, Marv goes even, but that was really, you talk about looking for a silver lining on an otherwise pretty brutal situation. That's kind of it. I don't know. Breeze on the other side of this. DRX very good at it. OPTIC have been in the lab trying to make something happen. We'll see if they can put up more of a fight in the second map. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the desk here. DRX just trounced OPTIC on their first map, on their map pick of Fracture. DRX look outstanding, Mimi. This is them in their top form. I said Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
I take it back. They're Super Saiyan 4, not even canon.
How many Super Saiyans are there?
There's quite a few. There's Super Saiyan. There's God tier Super Saiyan. There's like a red one. There's a
All right,
blue
it's
one.
Valorant time. Let's talk about Valorant because DRX are damn
I'll get
good
to
at
watching
it.
Dragon
That
Ball
was
eventually.
such an incredible map that they
Yeah.
just played there. And the thing is, OPTIC started so many of those rounds strong. In so many rounds, they got the opening kill, they started things in the right direction, but DRX traded their way to victory. This team is one of the best at just scaling after finding that initial loss and being able to win things out. The clutch potential in the first half impeccable, and while OPTIC managed to steal away a few rounds in the second, it was over after DRX already hit that double-digit mark in the first half.
I don't know another match where I've sat on the desk and said that a team had 100% 1v1 clutch win rate on a map, number one. Number two, I don't think I've also said that a round diff has gone so strongly one way.
Yeah, it is insane. This was one round where it was just an utter shutdown, right? OPTIC try and make a play. They try and go for a north side crunch in this one. They have the stun forward, but because of RB on that Neon, they are just instantly past it. Rounds like these just show that, sure, OPTIC played a good game on this map, but DRX came prepared. They countered. They know that those aggressive north and south side crunches are kind of the key to these set pieces when OPTIC is playing the Neon, because let's be honest, DRX, they play a very similar style in that way, and DRX did a great job of countering it.
Yeah, this has been just genuinely awesome to watch for DRX, Jess. Like, you couldn't have asked for them. You could see that they're vibing, they're communicating, they're doing everything right, and they're just clicking. And now we're going to Breeze.
You're saying that. I did have a point. One statistical anomaly was that they walked away with -5 first kill to death ratio, which means that they lost pretty much every opening engagement that should have gone in their way, and they stomped so heavy. So if you're saying it's impeccable, I would say it's a stomping. But if there was a little area maybe that they could improve upon, it's that their first kill rate goes in the positive. But the fact that they can win from behind is maybe even more impressive.
Yay.
Yeah. No, it's better than Yay. It's obviously better than Yay.
Better than Yay?
Yeah.
No one's better than Yay, except maybe Buzz in this matchup, who was very much incredible here. But yeah, I mean, you said it. Breeze is map number 2 in this series, and this is one that OPTIC does play, but I don't know if I have faith. DRX has looked so solid on this map. This might just be DRX continuing through.
Well, look, we all know the good comms win games, and they'll help you get out of silver. Most importantly, help you get out of silver, or
Did
so
you get
I'm
out of
told.
silver?
Yeah, that's why you don't communicate, I bet.
Here's what it sounds like when you're on OPTIC, when you're listening to OPTIC, and they're pushing site with our in-zone open mic. Let's actually go ahead and check this out.
Walk up C, walk up C. I'm gonna throw one flash for you. Jake, take a line, see?
Yeah, look mid later, no.
No, come with us. Flashing, Jake?
Wait.
Flashing.
I think both there. To be in the cubby.
Run in the garage, Jake.
I don't think so, Jimmy.
Vic, run in the garage, I'm flashing for you.
Omen's there. Yeah, Omen was here.
Staying outside.
Flash right side, wait,
I'm staying outside. You're alone.
One more C. CT in the smoke. Jimmy, someone plant. Let me.
He's flanking. I know.
Where?
Spike planted.
Nice. Good job. We're about to run these kids.
I mean, look, that's OPTIC being confident. That's OPTIC feeling like, you know, the OPTIC that we know, the OPTIC that we have seen dominate the North American scene, Jess. But right now, that's the OPTIC that this team on that stage needs to find.
I wonder if Stack said off that map, we're going to run these kids. Like, that's it. He's like, yeah, we're going to run these kids the same way we saw Crashy sort of say it before. I think that the confidence and the dynamic has shifted considerably now after that.
Yeah, well, look, before we head to map 2, it's time for a little crosshair check in our aim lab shoot around that we're going to be looking at today. We got ourselves Yay. Oh, always nice to see Yay. If anything, Mimi, this was one of the players that, was having impact in the beginning portion of those rounds. It's just there was no follow-up there.
Yeah, absolutely. DRX did a great job at punishing in the late round, and even earlier on, RB was running the gauntlet against Yay. It was really well set up off those KO flashes to counter, which, like I said before, can be a little bit tough when you're playing against that breach. But I do appreciate in this one that not only does Ye have a nice, honest crosshair, but he's also playing an honest scenario. Everyone's been showing us grid shot. I can shoot really fast. That's not how you get the Ye aim. You gotta go small, be precise, and
accuracy number 1.
When I do this, it looks like I'm clicking on an Excel doc, just slowly, just like click. It's I tell you what, Yay, an absolute beast. He's going to need to bring it. They all are for this next game here because we're going to go to Breeze. This is DRX map pick. Now, your eyes do not deceive you on this graphic, okay? Optic pick Fracture, but DRX just bodied him on this map, 13-4. Now, we're going to DRX's pick, Jess, Breeze. I just feel good about DRX here.
I said this in the very beginning, way before Fracture. I said if Optic do get really stubborn and continue to ban the Icebox, which I don't think they needed to against DRX, they actually could have let DRX, pivot that into their own ban somewhere, somehow, and they get rid of the Breeze instead. This might be a map veto, advantage for them. They don't. They become stubborn, so they need to have an answer on a map that we've seen DRX lose once in their entire career, and that was against Cloud9 in 2021. We're talking about a team here that knows this map, lives and breathes it, lays out the lawn chair, lays down, takes in the sun, got the best vitamin D level of any team here.
Lives and breathes it.
That was actually all right. I will give you that one. That wasn't bad.
Come on, give me one. Give me
you
one.
needed some high frame hanging fruit, like coconut on Breeze. That's another Breeze reference.
Oh,
Breeze
wow,
joke,
well
guys.
done.
Please laugh. I'm begging. Beyond that, though.
Lulz in the chat.
No, please, guys, let's talk about the game at hand because, like you said, Just, this is an incredibly comfortable one for the side of DRX. And for Optic, they have actually been really good on it. Like I mentioned, they started playing it towards the end of Stage 2 in North America. They pivoted Victor towards the Jet. Here they're playing the bog standard Sova plus the KO, plus the Jet that pretty much everyone plays on this map, except for DRX, who does commit to that Sky as their second initiator.
All right, well, let's see. Prime Gaming Agent Select. Do we get exactly as it's laid out here? The Sky is the one differential between these two teams. Whether or not we get that, of course, Marv going with the KO, and we are getting the Sky locked in here, Jess. So basically everything is about going as we expected.
Yeah, I didn't expect any change, especially when you've got a map that you are both comfortable on for DRX and Optic, that you know that you have to win to keep yourself in this upper bracket. It's just so much on the line.
Yeah, I mean, DRX has been incredible. I would expect them to win on this map, but I will sell 1 ounce of hopium to the Optic fans. Marv is an incredible player. He's been stepping up this tournament. He's on the KO role, one in which he is very enabled. Him and Victor as a duo have been great in the past.
All right, well, we got some copium here, some hopium rather, from Mimi, but they are certainly going to need a lot more than that if they want to force a map 3. Let's find out if this series can go the distance and send it back to my boys Dougie Esports and Balla Balla as they drop their latest album. Take it away.
Thank you so much, GB. Yeah, Balla, look, the only real contradiction in the composition is the Sky for the KO, and hopefully that provides better competition than what we saw on map 1, because that was not good.
Yeah, no, it absolutely wasn't, and I think DRX is going back to a classic, and they also know how this comp runs. I mean, Mimi called it out on the desk. They've run KO for so long, and this is only kind of a recent switch. And right now, Optic have got to be so scared of what's going to come, because all eyes to me go to Victor. I know the desk talked about Marv, but Victor has to pull out what he did when he pulled this agent out first, and it's no longer a surprise weapon.
You know what to expect. Ye gets the opener, paves the way for Victor to dash his way in. Numbers advantage their way.
That didn't mean anything in the last game.
Yeah, that's true. Quite literally, yeah. Elements of hope, perhaps, as Ye's able to get another. He falls. Numbers advantage heavily their way. A 4v2 here. Zest
Double flank.
takes a little bit of damage. Shock Dart comes through for Crashies. That's a pretty clean pistol, and that's exactly what you need if you're Optic.
And the elements of success that they had coming through to this point were the flanks. And they had two right there. Finesse rotating all the way around after they initially got the sight. And then you had Marv as well coming through the halls. They mentioned this on the desk. 12-0. Since last year at Champs.
It's a long time.
That is a long streak. And it's not the only long streak that DRX has had. They still haven't lost a series in stage 2.
DRX choosing not to buy up here. You saw Marv use the knife early on. See if there's anyone waiting on the other side. Victor once again going to dash his way forward into the cloud burst. He's got the Viper Wall to provide some cover. So he takes a little bit more space.
Double flank going to come in as well from DRX. So it's Stacks and RB. And Finesse has to deal with this himself.
He's waiting for it. He's expecting it. Will RB check this all the way around? Or you're going to have to deal with Marv too. And there's Finesse. He wasn't interested in waiting.
Buzz gets another kill on the site.
Buzz again in a clutch situation. 2 shots left in his headhunter. 1 goes sideways. The Classic's not going to do it either. Molly in his face as he ultimately falls. Optic get to 2.
2 nice shots from Buzz. And he was a monster on the first map.
Yeah, he was nutty with it.
Sure, yeah, ended up out-fragging him, but Buzz clearly got the better of a number of the other teammates of Optic. I think he was part of the 2 out of 5 clutches that they had. And we'll see here. This is when you really get this comp starting to roll. But interestingly enough, they have the chamber on the B site, not the jet. You could swap those either way. But they're also not necessarily going for an aggro play, except maybe an early peek here from Doors. And this amount of info at the beginning of the round for DRX is really, really good to work with. They just dogged all the way through B halls. And they also got a dart in bottom mid too, so they know most of the players are here at A.
Little rinse and repeat, and well, if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it.
Oh, the dash messed up.
RB had to try to dash his way out, you're right. Slams his face as he tries to escape.
This is a great wall from Mako and RB.
He's still playing on the other side of it. The drone, not finding much. Ah, there it goes, position given away. Crashy's gonna swing around, clean RB up. Marv does a bit of the same. Big round here for Optic as they try to carry some of these lighter weapons with the Spectre and the Bulldog forward. And Stacks is left alone in this 1v3. Marv delays just a tad before getting the spike down. Now Stacks is gonna arrive, and by the time he gets there, his friends are all gone.
I do like that setup even that DRX has, but that's, I mean, we didn't see much of this half for DRX on the first map, but Optic crack what was pretty much a stack. That wall, not something that's very common to be able to set up a crossfire between the double stack box, which is gone now, but that little cubby on the right side of the pyramid, and then the close cinder blocks position. Could have done massive damage, but they just outweighted the fuel, and it was gone by the time they actually hit the site. So good stuff from Finesse, good stuff from the team on Optic to have a lot of patience in this situation.
Operator going to be carried forward for Marv, and then you've got a Vandal and a Phantom too, so financially certainly bodes well for the future, and we'll see what DRX can really do with. We talked about that Phantom that Sax was able to save, but there's really not a whole lot else here.
And I do remind everybody in the first matchup that they had, Optic got stomped on the first map. Not as hard as the last time, but they came back and played a really, really close game on map 2 where they had control. DRX did, and Optic was able to wrangle it back. Aggro play here from Stacks, it looks like.
And he's rewarded. It seemed like Crashies was even expecting it in some regard, but still wasn't able to weather it. Now Finesse doing a bit of exploring of his own. A couple of bullets go wide, you see the setup. They wanted to give RB a little, they wanted to use RB to give Finesse a little something to think about, and then have Stax be the one to punish, but Finesse just decides he doesn't want it.
It's interesting that they go for that early peek from Stax with the gun. Try to get themselves an advantage, even at the risk of the only weapon they have.
Toxin screen down. Here.
Patience here out from OPTIC.
This makes it seem like they rotate. They're hiding from the dart, but they haven't. 4 people about to hit the site from all sides.
RB lying in wait. He has no armor, but he does have a Sheriff in hand. You see the dash get tapped as Victor tries to punish him, and now the kills go back and forth. RB does ultimately fall, but it's a 3v3 here, a 3v2 now.
30 seconds left.
As the hall pressure proves to be too much.
And Marv also just re-cleared into middle, so Day8 knows to fall back. They know to play off site. They know which direction to be watching.
Teleport's ready.
Clean conversion after Stax really got themselves a massive advantage, given what unfolded last game.
Buzz finds himself outnumbered a lot.
Here.
Didn't matter last game again.
Yeah.
But obviously OPTIC singing a different tune.
At least early on.
Yeah. And he loses it.
Yeah, Mark cleans him up at the end. Third kill for him in that round. OPTIC get to 4. Operator still in the hands of Ye, and he's got the Tour de Force in his back pocket. So you see how some of that lead, that advantage that they're able to lean into. Remember, Ye was the bright spot, right? If he continues to have a situation where he can play from a position of power, that bodes well for the future here if you're OPTIC.
And they are getting him positions of power. That time in halls, he's been coming out of, obviously, A main. There's obviously a lot of long angles here for Ye to work with. But they're going to have to continue doing that. And they've been really focusing on this A side. So I'm surprised not to see DRX yet abuse that fact, except for the eco round that they once had.
I do think, though, you're right, they're not putting much more here as far as personnel, but I think off of utility, they're realizing that, again, it is going to be a hit A. There was the Prowler, or excuse me, the Trailblazer down halls, the flash into window, and off of that, you see some of the rotation come through. You hear the null command come online. The flash swings out as Victor has already made his way into the site. Buzz on the other side of the wall. A couple of Vandal shots to the face clean him up. And RB now dancing around as well. Cover gone. Victor stands stalwart, or at least tries to.
Oh, the shot volley!
That's gonna hurt.
Oh, the vulnerable just went away.
Victor's weak here. Marv is too. Poison will be probably the closest round we've had so far, but once again, numbers in favor of OPTIC. This time Slight, and Marv is so weak. You look at him funny here. He dies. That can easily swing back the other way.
This plan is really bad. Really, really bad.
Okay. Missing the first shot. He's just going to stick it. He's going to stick it. You were absolutely right. Oh, but it gets stopped just in the nick of time. Oh, not even close.
Oh, there's so many close rounds like this with OPTIC lately in terms of the defuses. But this one comes through thanks to Ye being able to swing wide enough. I thought for sure with the position they were on the left side of that cave, there was no way he could get this in.
The second's a pen, right? It has to be a pen.
It's a spam.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that is immensely lucky or just amazingly well played from Crashies.
And that dart went him around. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, wow. What a swinging series we have so far. OPTIC looked to be going up 6-0, exactly like DRX started. But the timeout comes slightly earlier from DRX. Might be calling the brakes really fast here.
That's the nice thing about winning map 1 13-4 is you can afford to get pushed around a little bit initially.
Yeah, of course.
Could be, right? It's not all dire straits.
But at the same time, you think...
That score's not right, by the way. I know it feels like we're playing map 1, but you're being lied to. You're being bamboozled.
It's just the opposite teams.
It just like brings back like stress, right?
Dude,
I can feel heart palpitations instantly as soon as I see that score. Not again.
And I already had enough from that first series, man.
Again, OPTIC here with the 5-round lead. DRX call a timeout.
I think there's clear solutions here against what OPTIC are doing, but look, OPTIC immediately adapting. As soon as the timeout happens, they're saying, okay, they should be able to figure this out, right? Let's start getting a couple pushes going on in mid, or in B.
And that's so Optic, man.
Exactly. This is Chet working with finesse. And let's see what DRX comes up with, because obviously they can anticipate exactly what's going to happen. But also don't forget, just Sheriffs on their side. So,
Question, are they going to show something a little bit different on the Optic side? This time a flash, a dart deep.
look at Buzz. Tour de force already. Down elbow. Not something that we've seen. And this is what I hope Optic was anticipating based off the default that they started, but they're going right back. I think just showing a little bit of misdirection with the dart, with a couple of utility points being thrown in mid, makes DRX second guess what's going on here, and Buzz does not take the angle. Even after the flash, doesn't spot anything, which could have easily been dodged. It doesn't pick the angle.
Again, remember, I know there was a tech pause in there, but this is off of a timeout from DRX. So you see the plan for Optic. Show a little eye candy at the beginning of the round, make you think twice about it, and then go back to what works.
Molly going to be hard to get through right here for Optic. They're going to wait it out.
And the dart, too, yeah.
But that gives time for that wall to come back up, too.
Here we go. Dash into the cloud burst. You see them trying to play back site. You have two members here on the side of DRX. They're trying to keep the offenses of Optic back. So far, it seems to be working, but once again, a 1-for-1 now. The Viper's been shrouding the site.
It's not covering the spike, though. But with this 2v5, oh, Buzz has an op, though. You got to be careful there, Crashies. An overextension.
It's a 2v2 now. Ye has an op of his own, but Stacks with a Sheriff. Flash in the face of finesse. He's getting challenged, he's getting push, and it gets cleaned up. Optic get to 6.
But a great round from DRX in my mind. The initial site take good from Optic, but then RB gets the opening kill, and things start to fall apart.
What do you think that crab's name is? Nothing?
I got
He looks like
Crab.
a George to me. Crab.
yeah, like a Harry Potter character, Crab.
Gosh, you're so creative. And operator still in the hands of Ye. Still in the hands of Ye. Buzz gonna counter with his.
Oh,
Well, there you go. Great opener out from DRX and the Viper's Pit on A. This is the first time that Optic explored the western side of the map.
And oh no, even worse. I thought that it was just the first kill. That was the biggest problem. But look at the Viper wall. It missed. It went into the ground. It must have. And they've got nothing to hit the site with in terms of controller utility. So they have to hit dry.
Middle of the map being explored by Optic here. Again, no Viper wall on B to help out. And where do they go? They go right into the lap of RB. Can he weather it? No, he can't.
Fighting the front side of this, if they can get spawn control, this could be huge.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do. Look at Finesse pushing his way forward.
That reactive Viper wall from Mako really good too. He could creep up on the backside site control that Optic have.
Get out of my way. Spike
Blade
planted.
Storm online. And they're all huddled in on the side. It's like they're standing right next to each other. They're in each other's pockets. 3v3 here, you still have to deal with the Viper's Pit, but the thing is, yeah, you don't know if it's been left. You don't know if it's been evacuated.
Player standing.
Marv lost so many 1v1s on map 1. Can he do it here against Stacks? Stacks with the high ground, but not wise as to what's happening. Opshot goes a bit wide. Stacks still healthy. The flick out from Marv with the classic as Optic get to 7.
I'm in Bizarro World, Doug. 7-0. This is the most lopsided series we've had so far at Copenhagen.
I'm freaking emotional roller coaster, bro.
And honestly, DRX has no solution to the first time that Optic has even had to mid-round, let alone.
Let's go. Do the same shit they
Go,
did to us.
baby.
Oh my God, John, don't punch me, please.
With that,
Abusive IGL, abusive IGL.
with that,
George Katz is tweeting right now.
DRX calls a timeout. But you heard it in the comms, right? Do the exact same thing to them that they did to us. Because, I mean, again, after you get humiliated on map 1, the way Optic did, you kind of have to make a statement back, right? Like, you want to make a statement back, knowing OPTIC, knowing their personality, knowing their DNA. Yeah, they're going to come out there and try to do a bit of the same.
Knowing the revenge narrative, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The revenge match narrative. I thought that they might also have somewhat of a chip on their shoulder just because DRX pushed them, right?
Yeah.
But no, a little bit more tame on the OPTIC side, I think, in the conversation leading up to this game. DRX has to find a solution.
That's a studio where John Locke, the music producer for the show right there, creates all the bangers, by the way. That very same studio.
And the remixes.
And the remixes.
Featuring artists.
So good. So good. Also worth noting here, while things have gone very well for OPTIC.
RB actually almost gets knifed back by the KO, and there is a null command available here. So these knives, if they spot him, he could instantly lose them.
He slipped his way in. He slipped his way in. Knives don't last. There's a whole lot of trouble on the other side. There's a no command that you mentioned. Stack's able to help out, though, from afar with the Sheriff. Victor and the rest have Finesse there to help out just in case anyone dares swing it. And they don't for now.
Look at Zest in the meantime. They've lost all control on the backside of Cave. Yeah, he's watching it, but Zest could get so much value.
Does he continue? Hunter's Fury there, and they don't know.
Oh,
a back was spotted too. Patient, though. They have no idea. They have no idea. Nice flick out from Ye to clean that up. Sheriff not providing problems. Stack's trying to dance around the pyramids, looking for something. No, not doing it. Buzz in this 1v4. Opposite side of the map. Once again, outnumbered. And 8 feels like a foregone conclusion here for OPTIC.
Teleport's ready.
That was a good round and good recovery from OPTIC on that one. Null command. Yeah, able to also recover a potential flank from Zest. Shot slightly missed from Zest, but yeah, immediately punishes him. He's 11-4.
That works.
Still has the same op from a couple rounds ago, too.
That's true. I mean, if it's 8-0, yeah, you're definitely carrying that forever. Which means a massive bank on the side of OPTIC, even though they have been losing a lot more players than you'd expect on these rounds where DRX shouldn't be able to fight through. But that time, RB with the knives, they've done a great job at neutralizing him. I was really interested in the fight between Victor and RB at the beginning of this map, given Victor's a newcomer to the jet role. And RB has been, for a lot of people, the main criticism of this DRX squad.
Nowhere to run!
Speaking of RB, tries to challenge into halls. Gets Pepper just a tad, drops the Cloud Burst, throws it into reverse and gets away for now. While Victor, on the other hand, does the exact opposite. He pushes his way forward, the dash is there, but he has to get over the Viper Spit. Or excuse me, the Molly.
It's crazy how these shock Molly combos that DRX is throwing out are just slightly mistimed, where the vulnerable always dissipates before it happens. And
Absolutely.
OPTIC finally pivoting on the round that Stax is the only one left here. Over towards the B site, and great flash from Crashies.
Back up, they know we're here.
Excuse me, Marved. And yeah, RB not able to find anything, but there's no rotation happening here for DRX. And Stack's left in a world of trouble. He's at half wall right now, but no wall for OPTIC, so he could make this hurt.
He backs up, he gives the space away. Now the Hunter's Fury out from DRX. Crashies having to deal with the pesky ultimate before he can get the spike down. No damage dealt.
30 seconds
Fancy
left.
footwork out of him! As Ye puts one between the eyes of RB.
And that's another first blood for Ye. He had 8 in the first game.
8 of what, 11?
11 for OPTIC. They were actually ahead in first kills, and that is definitely continuing here on Breeze.
Outrageous stats. And the numbers continued go in favor of OPTIC. Mako not around. Stack still is, who was actually the first one on the scene. Finally is met with his demise.
It felt like DRX wanted nothing on that retake.
Yeah. Absolutely. And understandably, right? You still have Buzz with the operator.
Dude, Finesse is 9-1.
That's how you know things are going well,
yeah.
Right? Like, if Finesse has been able to put up that level of performance, everyone really on the side of OPTIC is kind of clicking.
They found my trap.
I mean, they beat the beast, man. I guess maybe they should have given OPTIC a few more rounds in the first game. This is actually a trend now for the DRX, by the way. Yesterday, against Leviathan, they had a very similar situation where the first two maps kind of lopsided. They lost the first one, and they came back and dominated them on Breeze. And then Haven very, very close, but they still dominated in the first half. So DRX might actually be the reason why these games are so swingy. Oh,
Stacks on the other side. That was so well played. He takes a step back to avoid the knife and then pushes his way forward and drops 3 from OPTIC.
No respect given. Stacks goes back to the same thing that's been netting them the kills over and over and over.
Sash trying to find finesse. He'll duel the IGLs.
I mean, ultimate disrespect. Peek, yeah. Trademark's still up. He might be able to smoke. It doesn't matter. Buzz gets the kill. And Finesse right now dealing with not only Buzz, which he does deal with, but also this double flank.
Oh, he's just being surrounded, and they know where he is, too, off of that previous kill. Voids a dart, Mako, who had no idea. He had no idea that he was around, that RB was around. He gets cleaned up. DRX, perhaps, what, a little bit ahead of schedule, right, compared to the previous map. If they get around.
And it's all Stacks.
Yeah, what a play, man.
I say no respect, too, because he's the one who actually mentioned before this game, he said, when a game starts, I turn on my no respect mode. And I think that's what it was in the first game. And this time, too. Just doing the exact same thing that worked for them. The only thing that worked for them. But this time it
You want to play?
paid off like spades.
And he's going exploring again. He's worked his way up across the middle of the map. You heard the tour de force used. They also have a double op setup on the side of DRX.
Dangerous to deal with, but also counterable with a Viper's Pit, which Finesse just got. Oh, good shot again from Stacks. This guy trying to save the game right now.
He's trying to take over. Victor just pushes his way forward. And the op out from Buzz is there to greet him. They're running for the fences. They're getting out. They don't want to fight this fight A, and Stacks gets a third.
Down A.
Marved once again in this one before, and again, that double op setup, I think, which is probably one of the bigger issues here, is they're going to be able to carry that DRX are into the next round.
38 seconds. Mart has a pulse on the flank, but now that that has come in, it's actually coming, and he's not concerned about it anymore.
30 seconds left.
Buzz showing a little humanity as he misses. Mako missed a little bit too. Marv letting him know. 10 seconds left. He picks up the spike. Left. He has no real place to go.
If he gets one more kill and dies, either way, he's one off of his ult now, just with that kill. And DRX is the first time he had it, they did not really do an anti-null command setup.
Yeah.
And you already saw the tour de force popped on the hands of Buzz. That's 2 rounds in a row for Stacks where he goes for a 3K and also gets value out of that same cave push. Can you do it 3 times?
6 of the 10 kills that he has have come in the last 2 rounds.
He's back over towards B this time, so slightly different.
Slightly different pace out from here, from OPTIC here too, as they're going to try to do a split into A through double doors. Victor's already been rewarded for some of that. The Viper's Pit, you mentioned in the previous round, now online. Oh.
And it's not necessarily one that's
Spike
great
planted.
against the op of Buzz, but still look at the presence double doors. And that's where Stacks wants to come. So the Molly too.
Where else does he go? Stacks not up to his 3K antics this time around. And neither's Buzz. Prime Gaming Flawless comes through once again, seemingly later than you would expect given the scoreline. But this time it's OPTIC who are dealing a bit of hurt. A 10-2 half over DRX. I don't know what happened in the comms between map 1 and map 2. I don't know if it was preparation, whatever. They seem to have taken it personally that nobody expected them to win on Breeze, that nobody expected them to win after map 1. And man, they're putting on a show.
They always do, don't they? If there's anything we know about OPTIC is they hate what just happened. They hate losing.
Let's throw it down to the desk to have them break down this 10-2 half from OPTIC. Thank you so much, GB. I don't know that DRX could Google their way into answers for what's gone on in the first half. And while the picture's grim, my hope is that this just means we're set up for a banger of a map 3.
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I hope so. I actually see both sides of the stage being relatively calm, given the situations that are unfolding on. Obviously, both have fallen to a stomp at this point, but 10-2 come back on Breeze. Very difficult to fathom. So, yeah, I hope.
Scanning ahead.
I pray that we have an amazing map 3.
DRX testing the waters towards A. 3 members of OPTIC huddled backside. Victor having to dash around. 2 of the 3 have gone down. They've all fallen. Ness is here a bit early. And now Ye's the last one to show up, and he's going to be very late.
Spike planted.
There's only one person. 2 people took damage, but one person is heavily hurt and bruised, and obviously it's RB, the
Teleport's
entry.
ready.
6 bullets in the headhunter. Other than that, doesn't even have armor.
You see Zest jumping around back there. I think they have any real idea of where Ye might be. As the spike continues to tick away, and Ye just waiting if anyone's going to dare challenge.
Honestly, just wants to build up potentially some points towards his ult.
Exactly. Try to get that tour de force online as soon as he can.
And DRX is succeeding in somewhere that OPTIC did not in that first map, right? The pistol round was the biggest test. And here we go, Ye, trying to challenge, and he doesn't get anything. A Prime Gaming flawless on the pistol round is the best possible start for DRX in the second half. And RB delivered on that push against Victor. Mako as well. They were really not playing anywhere close to each other. I don't think they expected this fast pace.
Very clean takeout from DRX.
And I said it calm. Mako there. Ice cold. With the deficit, that is surprising.
DRX choosing to go A here. No buy on the side of OPTIC. He dashes his way forward, but Victor's in the cubby. Do they check him? Oh, he dashed out. He tried to find some cover, tried to get a kill. Now he's spamming his way through. 4 members of DRX still on the other side as Victor tries to go up top. Marv with the flash to provide some cover, but the molly is just too much. They knew exactly where he was.
Thought he might have been able to escape with the updraft, but doesn't want to peek into them either. So they're out on the site now.
Crash is trying to deal something with the Shock Dart too, and they just get overwhelmed as Mako running his way forward with the Spectre. Mows down what's before. Clean round out from DRX. Very clean.
Just thought he had a timing, but as soon as the shoulder peek comes in from Bricks there, from Stacks, the rest of the team is backing him up so well. And it was the defensive side on Breeze, or on Fracture, that OPTIC got dominated on. So we'll see. Maybe this was just a... Nah, I mean, I can't even think of...
Not yet. It's too early. It's too early. We have a couple rounds before we start having that conversation. But DRX doing what is required of them to get to that point. Here, OPTIC with a full rifle by 5 handles. And RB finding value. That Spectre again, but this time Ye's there to extinguish it.
It's 2 kills too, plus Mako gets cut off. And he might be isolated here if Marv is not pushing with him.
Poison's off.
They let him go. Finesse and Marv scared actually to approach, I guess, because the HP situation of all the players on this team. And Victor's the guy who cuts him off. He just rejoins with another teammate. Really, really well played. And 4 versus 2 now.
How do they hold this? That's going to be such a difficult ask.
1 enemy remaining.
Well, taking care of Marv helps, but Ye trying to do a bit of it himself. And wow, that reaction from Zest was something. The defuse is still going to come through.
What a flick. And that's a great anti-bonus here from OPTIC. Stopping the potential momentum that could have started. And with the plant, DRX has plenty of money. So they should fight back here easily. This is the rounds that OPTIC got for DRX right now. 4 rounds. And look at this little factoid as well. 60% win rate after dropping the first map for OPTIC. It's no surprise, actually. That tracks very well. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it's not higher, essentially. Because in NA, that happened actually quite frequently. OPTIC did not look completely flawless this year, or this second half of the year in stage 2.
You see a play attempt out from OPTIC as Victor made his presence very known in caves, but there was no one there on the other side to receive.
Yeah, he's starting to do a lot of damage. First with that 2K, after they lost the first blood, and this time now as well. Getting the entry.
Spike not in hand here for DRX. You see on your minimap, it's still sitting back towards spawn by itself. No one really around it.
I think with the damage done from RB there, they really want to pressure Ye even further before his TP comes up. So they're peeking in tunnels, but it might get punished. OPTIC with the great read here.
Through double doors. Stack's waiting. He really is the one. The timing's right. He's going to be able to call spoiler. Stack swings out, but are they expecting Zest?
And they back up immediately. Good patience here, but oh, Victor also punishes Buzz. Here's the flank from Zest. He could get massive value because Victor's exposed too.
Oh, tried getting a little greedy. Ultimately gets the first kill. Victor trying to dash around. Lands the shots onto Zest. 3K for him so far. Mako gets it down to a 1v3. Crashies with the Spectre. You see how patient Ye is. I mean, look at how far back he's playing. And actually, he's the one who gets the kill.
Jumped on top of that wall right there. And match point now for OPTIC. And the money's broken for DRX. Didn't even get the plant down. A lot of good things went right there for OPTIC. They read the situation, given Ye took a lot of damage there. But also, if they could get any more value before the execute happens, which was already super weakened after losing RB.
Good round, Victor. Good call, John. Yo, yell now!
That's the OPTIC we're used to. Big lead here on Breeze on the second map. After getting destroyed, they return some of that and try to put DRX away. You hear the force coming online. Seekers are going to follow suit as DRX try to test the middle of the map. Okay, have to give some of the space away. Nice shot through onto Mako.
Spike down, B.
RB tries getting some high ground, and of course he gets dropped down too. The blade storm from Victor, just too much. And Zest tank, he can be able to get away. Okay, 51 HP. Victor tries to go up again. Those blades still in play here, and he's got the Spectre back there. Ye's actually the one to clean things up at the end. Buzz continues to cause a problem, but it stacks in a 1v2 to keep the map alive.
He wants to flash over from the right, make it look like he's not peeking window here. But it won't matter.
Yeah, even with those antics, Ye continues to be a problem in this series. He was very good map 1 while the rest of OPTIC was not. This time, it's by committee. OPTIC win 13-4.
And they took that first loss very personally. I know you said it already.
Some Jordan vibes, man.
And they're back to being happy with that one. I would have loved to be. After watching this in hindsight, would have loved to hear what the conversation was like after behind the scenes. Ye 22-8.
Still a demon, bro.
I honestly think one of the first times he's really taken over
this tournament.
A map.
Absolutely.
And I was, we were kind of joking about the fact that he was a top 21 player at the beginning because it says so by the stats, but it has been an underwhelming tournament for him.
Which again is just absurd to think that that's underwhelming for him, right? Like the bar that he has set historically is just so high, and this is the Ye that is more normal.
Sure.
Which is absurd to say.
And it's exactly the type of thing that we actually really expected Ye to start powering up a little bit, because he is consistent at this, and there's only very few blips on the amount of times that Ye has had underperformance entirely.
Once again, I believe that the universe will be good to us, and we are going to get a good map 3. If you want to see it, you're going to have to stick around. We'll be right back.
And Optic told DRX, anything you can do, we can do too, as they win 13-4 on DRX's pick of Breeze. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy alongside with Jess, as well as Mimi, as we break this game down. And you know what? I think we'll just start off first and foremost with the fact that when your IGL is feeling themselves, you know, things go pretty well for you.
Things do tend to go quite well for you. And in this matchup, FNS was feeling himself. We don't often see these games where FNS really finds that big step up, but here he did. And I mean, before we even get fully in towards that one, just talking about this overall, this was the resurgence for Ye. We were waiting to see one of these big Ye games where he takes over the server, and we got it on Breeze.
It's unbelievable the kind of impact rating he had on that map. Like, it's like we can speak about all the other players on the side of Optic, but the impact rating that I have listed here, his econ rating, his double kills, his triple kills, his ability to be able to make impact. Mind you, yet again, a little bit strangely, we have the teams that are winning dominantly negative in opening kills. Not sure what the correlation is, but I'll look into it later.
Yeah, and I mean, back to that point around FNS, this was one of his games where he had the big impact. Playing on the Viper on this attacking side, he was finding some of those big kills in towards the late round, and that gives credit over to Victory. Did a great job at creating space on the Jet. Maybe wasn't quite the standout player in this one, but gave room for players like Ye, players like FNS to find that consistency. And like we talked about earlier, I'm still not sold on the comp that DRX was showing us in this one. I just think that the KO finds so much more value, especially on the defensive side with the pop flashes on through. I mean, you saw how well it worked for this Optic Gaming squad. You had excellent flashes to support out of Marv, which allowed those players that we already mentioned to have such big performances.
Yeah.
I mean, whilst we got FNS sort of on the screen there, it's not just his stats. I mean, they weren't like overwhelmingly, wow, look, this is FNS at his best, at least from a statistical standpoint. Often what we spoke about, especially at the last, Masters, was that he had calling ability that outdid anyone else. I liked the fact that he continuously decided to make calls that almost always had a very prime win condition for Optic, and he knew that. And he's like, it's predictable, but I know it works for us, and it has a huge win condition, so I'm going to keep allowing us to do that.
He had one crazy call on the attacking side.
Oh, God, I know where you're going with this.
And it was go to the same site every single round. It was excellent because it just somehow kept working for Optic. I believe we have a heat map of everywhere that they were planting because Optic was just going to A every single round. It wasn't always the same hit. Normally, it was pressure and cave in the early round, leave one player out towards mid, and you either pinch in the late round or you just execute straight on through. And that's not just saying that Optic was great at executes. They were, but it's DRX being so incredibly slow to adapt. They only got 2 rounds in that first half. That is a complete 180 from how well they were adjusting in map number 1.
It's funny because G2 in the EMEA region on Icebox is known for only planting on A. And when I say only, I mean like 99.99%. We had a ridiculous stat. So the fact that Optic were like, win condition for us 9 times out of 10 in a post plant is setting up around A. We don't like B. It doesn't hit, strike us as being a good place. So we're just like, fine, we'll just play with half the map. I'm fine with that if it works.
Yeah, and I think as well, when you are playing with this guy, instead of that KO, it's a lot more difficult to find those retakes, especially when in the early round, Ye is finding those big kills. You're playing from, I mean, not always the man advantage. It's oftentimes actually from the deficit from the side of Optic, like you mentioned, but still, the post plants were stellar from them.
Yeah, well, that is going to put a nice, pretty bow on Breeze. It's safe to say that, yes, Optic stole all of the pineapples and coconuts from DRX. Unfortunate, and then I'm guessing DRX stole Optic's metal, whatever they're forging over there, fracture. I have no idea what kind of facility fracture is. I'm just rolling with it. It's a joke. Anyway, we move on.
Pipes.
Go ahead and put cringe in the chat. I don't care. Anyway, here it is. Your eyes don't deceive you. 13-4, 13-4.
Probably Radiant Night.
Oh,
it took Radiant Night quite a while.
So Breeze is the coconuts, and then Fracture's the Radiant Night.
I'm a bit of a lore expert. Know a thing or two about lore, and well, Bind's lore is that it has teleporters. I'm moving on from this little subsect, because this is a pretty interesting map to see come through in the pool, because it has been an excellent one for the side of DRX. They don't play it too often, but last time we saw them here, it was a 13-1 victory over Northampton, completely dominant out of that squad.
That was a dominance, but I can say that the form that we've seen, at least from OPTIC on this map in recent, yes, I'm getting on the recency bias train, I'm strapped in, I'm not getting off, and I will say that OPTIC against Exit looks pretty damn good as well, no?
Yeah, I agree. I think it did look really good, and I think regionally they did a little bit of trolling, a smidgen on this map. They played the
They
Neon.
were unwell as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to put on top of that.
Sure.
I've never been a fan of the Neon comp. They went back, played something a lot more standard, pulling out the Rays and that Sky pick. I think it worked really well for them, going back to the double controller as well. I think it's just a functional comp. It's nothing crazy, but it works for them, and you're right, in that game versus Exet, it was quite one-sided. I think they're really good on that attacking side when Victor is playing the Rays. Well, it's not as crowning as when he's on that Neon. It's still great to find space in those sites.
I'm worried. I'm worried for the DRX sort of, you know, setup that they gave us in map number 1, because when OPTIC is in form, it's scary to be able to start to pull that away from them. Momentum is like, you know, one of those cringy keywords we throw on the desk. When I apply it to OPTIC, either in a match or in just a tournament overall, I truly think it does fit with them and it does flow over for them.
But I do think, though, like, momentum, yes, but coming out of Fracture, one would have thought that all of the momentum was on DRX's side. They were
I
going
think
to
it works better with OPTIC than it does with DRX, because I think DRX is so set playish, like they're sort of robotic in the way that they do things, and for them it's just follow the set play, execute the set play, do the set play. OPTIC is like that, but like I heard them yelling before, I heard them talking about it, so I don't know, I feel like it fits them better emotionally.
All right, here's your Prime Gaming agent select. Let's see what we end up getting here. For the most part, mirror comps from both teams, so don't expect much of a divergence from it unless they want to bust out that XX Grand Finals comp with the Neon and Astra, but we're not getting that.
Yeah, I really hope we don't. I wouldn't expect either of these teams to make changes in towards their composition. Like I mentioned before, double controller is really excellent here, especially on that defensive side when you have both the utility from the Brimstone in that Molly, in that orbital strike to play with, to buy time, and also with the Mollies out from your Viper. It's great in the post plant, and it's great in holding on defense, and both teams do stick with their guns here, playing that exact same comp. And in this one, I'm looking towards the head-to-head between Ye and Buzz. It's the basic stuff, but Buzz, he was having an insane match in the first one, fell off a little bit on Breeze. That's where Ye came alight.
Well, you're looking towards those two players. I'm looking to answer my questions. Is it Crashies? Is it Stacks? Who is the initiating god? And
It's
given
VCT.
Given the last time we saw OPTIC play on this map, Crashies went absolutely nuclear, so you can see where I'm trending so far.
All right, well, this is it. Last match of the day. Last map. One team moves on to the big stage. The other has to fight to get out of the loser's bracket. Let's go ahead and send it right back over to Doug and Balla for this thrilling third game.
Thank you so much, GB. I really hope he didn't just jinx us by calling it thrilling before it started. I mean, given how things have gone.
It has not been thrilling.
No, it might be the last thing it's been. But again, I have hope. I believe that we'll get a banger in this map. The stage is set. Best of 3 decider to see who moves their way forward, or as GB was saying, has to work down to the loser's bracket for Bind. Ball, a little bit of history here for both of these teams, but do you feel confident either which way right now?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I'm really going on recency bias based off of the form that these two guys have shown, these two teams, and recency bias tells me this could just be a stomp on either direction. OPTIC angry still, but DRX has got to feel just as angry if they want to repeat Fracture.
OPTIC starting on the defensive side here, and DRX looking to fight for showers control, and they seem to have established that for now. But Ye's gone exploring.
This is what I've been waiting for so long. OPTIC is great at reading the map, but Ye and nobody else has really been pushing the tempo on this defensive side, and the delay is really good for OPTIC to actually buy time here for Ye. Can he sneak the trip? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it may not matter if Victor's able to find that much value. It was a really good counter nade from him into showers to take care of that. And that was the one area of the map that DRX had established control over. That goes away, short goes away, now Ye's shown up, but the round is done. Prime Gaming flawless.
All that delay broke up the execute potential there from DRX. And that's something that they really, really don't want to have happen. This map gives a lot of room for actually full-on executes. DRX is really, really good at those. But a lot more of a standard comp globally. And the pop-off for OPTIC, they know what it means to get in the opponent's heads, and I honestly think that both sides have been living within rent-free at some point during this series.
No purchase out from DRX. To go back to the trash talk and the chipper across the stage, Paul, I think you're right. And you know, in a lot of ways,
Pocket here for Crashy. Sorry to interrupt.
it better be good. You're right, Crashy's talking. Surely you expect that, right? Like you see him looking into it. RB patient. The wall goes down. And off of this, I imagine the swing will follow. Again, Crashy's with the gun advantage here.
Wall's back up potentially.
RB's throwing a lot of shuffles. Doing a little wiggle. A little jiggle jiggle. And they fold.
Spike down B.
Either way, yeah, you got to kill at the same time too. So HP situation, they've just given up the spike. Even though Mako does have a gun, that nade might actually end him. No, 30 HP.
They've managed to re-pick up the spike. You see the molly to go towards spawn, but it seems like OPTIC want to fight from elbow. Then you've got Marv who's gone through Telly, so they have hookah control. They're going to be able to apply pressure in from elbow as well, and you see the members of DRX have a combined 33 HP. Not much there.
Enemy remaining.
And the gun's gone.
Yeah, and just went from 33 to 3 and to 0. OPTIC win the second.
All eyes on this next round right here, the bonus. Both teams have been converting them with frequency, obviously, in this series. That's why the leads have been so immense. 8-0 in both maps that we've already witnessed.
Yeah, this round, you're right, really is where we're going to find out if we're going to have a good one or not.
Yay. Does have the glass cannon right away. And with what he already did in that pistol round, you might expect him to go really, really fast for a pick here. He's not sure exactly what he wants to do. He set his TP up. And it's going to be long.
Yeah, a little flash and then the peek off with the op. There's the flash.
Always so passive with Ye. But he's confident in those angles, either way. Default from DRX. No fast bathroom, none of that. Which they go for actually trying to isolate Ye and Garden, but since it's Ye, this could be trouble.
Still holding that angle. He's sitting on the rendezvous too, so he can get away. Things get a bit problematic. It seems like the spike on the side of DRX is going to rotate that way, actually.
A lot of info just gained from the Trailblazer that Crashies, who initially started at B, just put down into bathroom. So Marv not only gets this orb, but he can get information here too.
And the space.
Here comes a Trailblazer of their own. So yeah, if he can peek past it as RB tries to clear and scale with it, he could get a kill.
That's exactly what he does. This time chooses actually to go for the Trailblazer, the flash and the nade, but he's gotten away.
Pocket again. This one a little wider here for Finesse. Maybe less obvious.
Repositions. Not quite feeling it. Satchel's across the way. There's no flash to follow up. Mako's already fallen. Now they understand where Finesse is, and he falls.
Oh.
As RB tries to get up top. Clip runs dry. He's still looking to cause problems on the site. Crashy's now here. He's got that operator. Marv has one too. You hear the teleporter come through. Marv has shown up. Crashy's is fallen with 13 seconds left. RB has to get the spike down to 1v3.
10 seconds left.
For Marv, who I believe has not won a clutch this series. For as good as he is in them, it feels crazy to say, but he's got a shot at one here.
And he just made noise too, so they know his position. Double swing imminent here from DRX. As soon as there's anything thrown.
And you've got Cess, who's making sure in case he tries to jump out. He's got that angle that's now been smoked off. And perhaps that's the prize right there, that operator. Man, our observers are so good. Marv trying to spam through. Time.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. He's gotten it to a 1v1. Again, really no time to make that happen. And Zess, who was patient throughout the entirety of that round, is the one who cleans things up at the end. DRX get on the board early this time around.
And the anti-bonus success for DRX is the first of the first halves for these maps.
30초 남았습니다.
And this was RB. Looked like he passed Finesse, who was looking for another cheeky trigger discipline moment. Just to bring you back to the beginning. And he actually spotted him, so he turned back around and took care of him. Meanwhile, that actually bought time for OPTIC to get to the back of sight, but either way, it's neither here nor there. Fast stint through, gets the shoulder. And that does trigger the molly to be used immediately.
It was not there, but OPTIC are here.
Victor's got the showstopper. This could be a massive trap play if DRX fall into it, and there's 3 players here.
But what info do you use to figure out that that's where you want to get in? Perhaps it's off of that.
Here
Flash,
comes
the nade, the satchel, the showstopper, and it gets zest.
Toxin screen down.
Stacks weak here too, and Mako tries to find some space across short. He's able to take care of Ye, looking for Victor on the other side too. A couple of warning shots. Stacks will be there to top him off.
Ye being gone means Victor has to take very, very good care of this short position. Mako's trying to lurk right back up.
Only 2 members of OPTIC on A site here. Finesse on the other side as his crashies. This is going to be Marved and Victor to do it themselves.
They don't actually have smokes to execute, so the positions for Marved backside could be devastating.
30 seconds left.
And he's gone.
Devastation mixing. You hear the showstopper come through for RB as he tries to get the backside, and he's gotten there. He's not going to be greeted by anyone, but the space has been taken. He fires it off into pipes, and DRX have full control here.
Viper's Pit too, if things get a little dicey, but they won't.
They're out.
Peace.
And they're able to keep that Viper's Pit into the next round now, so you imagine there's a lot of... There are some windows here for DRX to rattle a couple of rounds together. Economy on the side of OPTIC isn't great either.
It's the first non-clean start from any team. Although I would argue DRX, these 2 rounds very, very nicely played to neutralize specific factors from OPTIC that are obviously win conditions. In both rounds, actually. Yay, not a factor. This one he only had a Spectre, because last time he went for a Glass Cannon, but in that Glass Cannon round he got no value because of continued passivity with consistency.
And really the insistence off of that to invest into the weapon, right? Like that is a strong win condition for them, and well, for good reason, right? You put the ball in the hands of your hot hand, right? Shoot or shoot.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Ye does, and he's been on it this series.
2 guns here, but it's a light buy for the rest of them. Victor does go for a judge, but thinks second of it.
Come on,
They're going to set up for Ye here to get this tour de force with the orb on long, and DRX is known to really counter these specific decisions.
Yeah, they're going to try to challenge. You see both flashes swing through, and Buzz gets 2 kills, 2 big ones.
Oh, and he pops it immediately. Picked up a Vandal too, and all members of OPTIC outside of Victor, who's all alone on A, have lost their lives for Ye to find a meaningless tour de force almost.
Last player standing.
Yeah, Sheriff not going to work out for Victor. Honestly, that happened so quickly, I almost doubted if Ye was able to get it. Like, the kills were traded so fast. There was a molly in the lap on the orb. But you're right, uses it instantly, and now is in a 1v5.
Yeah, teleport's red. That definitely hurts. I mean, you should know. It's very difficult to expect OPTIC to fail in that situation. He's going to go for a couple kills.
I win again.
Still has the tour de force up. That could cause problems if he gets a kill in bathroom, but the setup on short as well, very difficult to get through.
2 in showers, as you said. 2 by U-Haul, the Viper Maul. To cover what's on the other side. Sax is able to clean him up at the end. DRX take the lead. And that tour de force that we were talking about, not a factor for a couple more rounds.
It's just a weird decision.
Well, it's tough, too, in a split-second decision like that, right?
I mean, sure, but look, all your teammates are dead before you're backing away. They're all fighting for you, and you know that. And again, Finesse and OPTIC should know that that's going to be a counter here for DRX. They just blindly walk into what is an anti-orb pickup setup.
There.
And they get destroyed by it.
DRX take the lead. They've won the last 3 rounds. Stax has his ultimate. Mako has his ultimate. Zest does too.
Remember, it was a light buy last round, so they still have weapons here.
But light armor on 2 of them.
And because of that, they're going to try to go explore and try to get an early kill, and they might just get it onto Mako here if he peeks this corner.
Explosives not in tow for DRX right now. It seems like they're almost waiting for a little bit of aggression out from OPTIC.
Oh, they just heard. No, actually, that was the A's TP. Away from the A site. As Victor explores the outside of bathroom there.
There.
See Marv just mollied through the telly because they had no real vision of what was happening across sand.
Oh, Victor's let him through, but Marv is watching.
Yes, he is. Mako
strike
drop.
possible here too if they were pushing this, but they're pushing the other side.
You see off of that, Marv is going to have to scurry over. It's a foot race over to B. And the thing is, if they try to flip the map back, Victor is the trap. He is not left short. Orbital strike through to delay. 30 seconds left. Time running out.
Oh no, that's huge.
RB's able to get the kill too, but Marv is able to find something. He's actually gotten 3 on the round. Finesse gets 1 too. Great response from OPTIC.
A slow-paced round from DRX, but once they get the money back, once OPTIC gets some guns under their hands, they go for a very risky short play. But because of that, they read the entirety of the situation. This first kill from Marv, massive onto Mako. I thought for sure this orbital strike on the back of sight was going to be instrumental.
Nice. Good job, boys. Yo, good delay. Their smokes went away. That's all.
You called it. It was all about delay.
And the smokes from Zest is what he's calling about right there.
Mm-hmm.
They got smokes up on their own. They don't want to push through that. Mollies as well. And then the orbital strike from Marv, who was sprinting his way through spawn. Results in a timeout from DRX here. I think both teams shaking off the rust that they displayed in their respective map losses. A reminder, we were at 6-0. I mean 8-0 for both maps.
This is a
Finally,
nice day.
we've broken the pattern.
Not a moment too soon. Again, DRX calling a timeout here. They were able to rattle 3 rounds off, right? Consistently, they were able to find a little something, but off of that one round that OPTIC was able to win back, they decide to throw the brakes on this thing and reassess. And now we'll see what they have up their sleeves. Seems like a good buy for them. They still have that Viper's Pit. I feel like it's been around forever.
Yeah. Molly again to take control of Garden, but nobody actually to pressure off of that. It does keep Crashies off the angle, but he'll just trailblazer back and get a lot of information here. Yay, in a great position.
No follow-up on the long space too, but you're right. Ye's in a great spot.
So is
Victor's
Victor.
up top. He's able to look over the utility.
Punishable position though. He doesn't have satchels to get away quickly. But they'll fall into Ye if they try.
Victor seems to like being in positions like this again. This Viper setup is intended to deny that. To not allow them to do that, to be able to sneak up. And Victor with 2 massive kills, the 3rd, the 4th.
Excuse me?
And he's looking for the ace. Stacks. Oh, of course, it was a fadeaway at the end.
It was a fadeaway to start too. That 4th kill was ridiculous. The first 2 kills were ridiculous. What an ace from Victor. And DRX was going for the classic. Look at these shots. First 2, they line up. Next 2 are ridiculous. The speed of that one and then...
enemy remains. Strike down A.
That was an accident.
Calculated.
Calculated.
Calculated. That's exactly what it
That was his mouse doing all the work.
Outrageous.
He just flicks it and the pressure's enough. Click mouse away.
Tour de force through for Buzz and a shorty in his back pocket. And again here, another slower round on the attacking side for DRX. Choosing not to revisit A after what went sideways last time.
But Buzz has actually gotten himself the tour de force. Oh, yeah. There's that angle that we was talking about, how he loves to play it. And RB will pressure and gain control of Hookah here, but Ye's repositioned to deny Hookah jump out.
The Seekers through to try to keep them back. The delay once again becomes a factor here as the flash swings out. RB still on site, trying to get his friends in, and no, he falls. Ye has been an anchor on the site. Zest from up top cleans him up.
Mako can drop his pit here, and he should. But Victor has the showstopper to clear it right back. Here it comes.
Just goes wide. Buzz takes damage. Crashies is there, though. And you've got Marv who's breaking his way outside of Hookah. He takes here a Zest. Mako's still with the Veil.
And that's a huge kill right there because he has his orbital strike. He could have played the post plant, but instead Mako left alone.
No one pushing forward. Timing may not work out. Mako's able to take care of one. Crashies is there on the trade and the defuse.
Insanely close round. And Victor almost shut it down right away too with that showstopper, but DRX hold it. Held. Hold it.
I'm not going to let you lit that one up for a little while.
That's
I hope
okay.
you know that.
I enjoyed that.
Key there too, they pick the op back up. So it's back into Ye's hands.
Yep, and he was really, really good with it just then. I was going to set up the fight between him and Buzz because Buzz was with the tour de force all the way down long, outside of the fountain. He was trying to find a fight against Ye, but Ye's just not giving it to him. So his teammates think a lot of space is clear. And Ye will try now, it looks like, to challenge Bathroom. DRX has shown a lot in Bathroom, but oftentimes they're coming with 3 players, and this is it. Yay, so much space. Victor again trying to see above the wall.
So close.
And there we see the importance of having that op in from the previous round.
I can't stress how hard that shot that Ye just hit was with the shoulder peek happening.
Still have Showers control. They have full backside control. DRX seem hell-bent on making their way forward, so they're certainly going to try. Marvin is there to welcome them with 2 massive kills.
Spike down A.
And Stax is left in this 1v4.
Nice.
Very clean. Marv gets 3 on the round, and OPTIC get to 6.
Victor's little shoulder peek there while he was reloading gives Marv easily the angle to swing from the other side. And things look really, really good for OPTIC when Ye is finding a kill almost every round at the beginning. And then 2, DRX is consistently looking towards the almost a crutch of pushing up short this execute. And we're actually going to get DRX's second timeout used, unless I'm mistaken here.
No, I think you're right, yeah.
That's really, really early. Obviously, this is the first half, and clear intentions that they want to win the next 3 rounds, the last 3 of this first half. Tie it up when things have never been tied up before, it feels like.
You mentioned Zest with that orbital strike that could have caused spoiler. Didn't come into play, which means now they can perhaps play off of that. But you're right, they haven't found the success in A short that they've been looking for. They've had OPTIC have had control down long every single round, so it doesn't seem like that is safe either. If you're DRX, this is so frustrating because you go down the list of what are our options. None of them seem available.
Yeah, I think hookah control worked really well for them. I mean, I think of 2 rounds specifically. Finesse was one who died, and then there was also the one where Crashy's only found 1 value out of when he was playing for the pocket. But they've really been trying to challenge the lanes that Ye has been on.
Well, they're going to get a chance to do it again. You see the Viper utility going into short like they've done every single time, but the rest of DRX is towards B. Note here, too, RB has that showstopper. A double satchel out of hookah, perhaps. Could be a bit more than OPTIC could handle. They have 3 here. The showstopper's early. The showstopper's early! And he never takes flight! The orbital strike is Finesse is just easily able to walk out of it, but Ye is not. It's gonna get traded right back. Now Seekers through ultimates all over the place. And through that, OPTIC still hang on to the advantage, or at least they did until Stax is able to equalize things. 3v3 here. The spike's still not out though. It's not on the site. It's sitting back in hookah, and they decide they want to push forward. They want to take the fight, and they get what they want.
Super chaotic round out of DRX. And things don't start off good at all. I mean,
no.
They go for that same octagon control that they always do, but because it's been conditioned round after round and after round, they want to go for this fast push through hookah, which I just mentioned has been successful for them. They pays up on the angle, and he gets that kill, but everybody else has fallen out, and then there was ultimate after ultimate after ultimate. Finesse gets out, and he's like, oh, I'm going to sneak back in here with Marv's ultimate. And then there's the Seekers from Stax that immediately finds out his position.
A litany of ultimates, and off of that, Ye still has his. You see that online right now, the Tour de Force in hand.
Go get him.
Finesse has his 2.
Uses it already in the bathroom, so the Viper's Pit's going to deny that space. Oh, and they're getting bullied. Ruka right now, but that's a great shot. Stacks can't push through that slow now.
Maybe a bigger bully here. Ye finds big value. Marvin Crashies do too.
Great spam from Zest though.
You see the spike consistent in Octagon. They want to double down this way. And the Viper Pit's waiting on the other side, so it's not like A is safe. They cut noise. Perhaps to suggest that there's something going on A. They just put their Viper utility back up towards A. Again, to suggest that they flipped the map, but they're not biting. They try to run a fake to apply pressure, but OPTIC pay no mind to the benign gestures. They're staying.
30 seconds left.
Stacks has walked all the way out. And there's the jump. There's the noise. OPTIC know what's going down. On the nade as well. Oh, but the shot from Ye misses. Zest punishes.
Finesse has now joined the fold. And Zest, with the molly in his lap, having to take damage. A second one comes through. There's just no way for him to really challenge. Victor gets that through.
And that's after the timeout. That's after DRX said we need
last round before
to win the next 3. They won the first one. Then the second goes back in favor of OPTIC. And we have a chance now for both teams to make this fairly even. OPTIC could make it a strong half if DRX could make this really, really, really close. Only ults online is Crashes. A few could come online with kills, but OPTIC have been very, very good at using it in the mid-round to understand what DRX is doing, and because DRX is not really waiting until the end of the round, anything like that, like we saw from Guild early on in the tournament, like we see from sometimes FPX, that could be really, really good value. Because they're all grouping at this point. Look at OPTIC, they don't even need it. The Trailblazer down long, spots Buzz, and they're clearing Bathroom. They're already up towards Cave. They're already clearing the backside of Short. Victor's already gone. The rotation is in, and the stack is called.
They're surrounded. There's no way out. And the thing is, do DRX understand what has happened? Do they realize what's happening before them? The Seekers that you mentioned now come through as RB tries to make some space happen, and no. He falls. The flash out from Crashies as he tries to delay even longer, and it's the kill that gets it at the end. 3, give him 4. OPTIC get to 8.
And shades of exactly what Crashes did to Xset the last time they played this map. A 4K from the exact same spot. And you talk about DRX putting some chaos into the rounds. OPTIC did exactly the same with the amount of flanks and the information.
Come on! Like the satchel? Yeah.
Nice!
Very well done. Cheers all around for OPTIC as they take an 8-4 lead into halftime on this decider on Bind. We'll throw it down to the desk to break down what they saw. For a lot of times, Ball, it felt like an unstoppable wall was just there, courtesy of OPTIC, right? And there was just no way in. Perhaps DRX can do a bit of the same, but now OPTIC on attack, they play with a bit of pace of their own.
They absolutely can. Victor, specifically in bathrooms, up long, those types of double satchel plays can be instrumental, but they won't go for it. It's all quiet. And 2 things to consider right away. The different wall here from OPTIC that covers actually spawn on this A site. And also, DRX with a different wall of their own, both bathrooms and Short covered.
You mentioned very quickly the double satchels out from Victor. He had a field day against Xset into showers off of this position right here.
Yeah.
But patient this time around.
Gotta be careful with those repeat plays. It's so easy to prep, so I don't expect OPTIC to really lean into that this time unless there's a reason for it.
You see, they're trying to set Victor up. He's got a Frenzy light armor here. But no challenge early on. Yeah, he gets the ult orb, but that's all it is for now.
It's interesting. I don't think OPTIC has actually noticed where the Viper wall is right now. And given theirs, I was feeling already an A-hit possibility. Marv still has all 3 smokes right now, and they're grouping. The flash just got some information. That's going to call Zest over. Here's the pit, or the wall. They got to break this trademark first.
See the Viper walls intersecting on the site. You still have to make your way through all of that utility. And with 30 seconds left, you've got a death ball that's made its way into U-Haul, and they aren't necessarily just interested in that space. They want to take the fight onto the backside, and there's Victor. We highlighted him at the beginning, able to find value, but RB trying to hold fast, not able to do so. Buzz and stacks the two that remain.
It's a really unconventional post plant here, given the position of the spike on the back of truck. But OPTIC fall into conventional, actually.
Stacks looking to find anything on the clear bench. Yes, he can. Without taking a lick of damage either.
There's no post plant here.
Yeah,
they're in lamps.
This is actually going to be pretty difficult.
Oh, the nade misses. Wait, hold on a second.
They've got to swing. They've got to swing. They've gotten it to half, and Victor gets the third with the frenzy. OPTIC get to 9. That was almost bad.
But never doubt, I guess. In that instance, both players coming through the back of lamps. I mean, one has to be sticking, and the other player has to be covering, and it's forced a 2v1. Very interesting movements here from OPTIC. Definitely not a hit that you would ever truly expect, I think.
One enemy remaining.
And there's the final kill. Yeah, that looked pretty easy, I'd say.
Now off of that, OPTIC one step closer to winning this best of 3. DRX choosing not to buy here. They don't have anything else. They bring into this, not even like light armor and something to think about. They're fully set on the next round.
And still the pace slow. Crashes from Victor. There's the boombot through, and more traditional wall this time for DRX, but they're going for some aggression down long, and he's there to receive.
Yes, he is. And he's able to find the second too. Zest. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, it is. Third shot's the charm.
And off of that, Mako and RB here left to try to plug whatever hole they can find. You see, once again, OPTIC are fully taking control of the map. They've got guys in defender spawn.
I mean, you're questioning normally why would you ever do this, because it's the anti-eco, but
One enemy
they just want to instill fear into them.
And you see it at the end there, right?
Yeah.
Spam into the body, let them know.
Surprised we're not seeing some crouching going on.
Tactical crouching, yes. It's always interesting in situations like this. Yeah, he's able to get the second, but then he holds the angle too, and perhaps it was Zest thinking that he'll have moved on. Perhaps he can get the timing on the way out, but just a lot of the same.
So here we go. Anti-bonus here for DRX. And a lot of the same still for OPTIC. They can dodge the flash in the smoke.
Love that.
And really pressuring fast after this. The double satchel to follow up.
The flash looked like it went a little bit high. Ultimately, there was no one in Octagon. Victor's still going to get that ult orb.
And hey, might not have netted them a kill, which it definitely could have, but it does net them Octagon control. And look, they've even invested the Viper Wall on this B site, something that's become more and more common in VCT, but OPTIC not even to use it. The threat being they could walk up on elbow, exactly like you would do on short.
And off of that threat, Stacks had to use the Trailblazer to clear out Octagon and to clear out long.
And also they've used 2 smokes from Zest.
And a flash over there too. They have no idea where they are.
Setup is good though here. RB and Maka could do some damage up close.
They may have not had a Scooby before, but they know now the satchel crosses. RB's able to take care of DA, tries to find another.
They're out.
And they're just rotating away. Buzz hasn't moved though.
Yeah, and Mako just got the information. He definitely heard them here, so Buzz is ready for what's to come.
30 seconds left.
Buzz potentially light years ahead of this play right now. As they're all walking into his lap, how much value can he find? He's able to find the first, and now they know where he is too, and he gets away! Highway robbery! And now Zest is there to get 2 of his own. What a hold from DRX! Through all of the misinformation, they weather that beautifully.
Initial play from OPTIC, good too. But DRX, you're right. Look at Mako on the radar right now as you watch these kills too. He's following up right behind. I think that's why Buzz wants to stay a little bit more, but he gets given a gift of 2.
Yeah, during the second.
And OPTIC want to go fast here. They're throwing that molly that we're talking about. They're going to go for the double satchel and the flash, exactly like they played against XZ.
There's the flash leading the way. The kills come through for Victor.
And that's a problem. That's what's going to happen round after round. when they start going for this. DRX has to find the solution right away.
And for as well as that worked against XZ, for Optic to just now be running it, just kind of shows how much in control they've been. Victor with that showstopper.
Denies.
Nice shots out from Mako, gets traded out though. Numbers here still in favor of Optic. Crashy's getting the spike down. You've got Buzz, who once again is rotating over a bit late, and Stacks is back sight. 3v3 here, nice shots onto Finesse. They've yanked this thing back. Stacks has the Seekers, yeah. Clean out from Zest. Crashies, a 1v2 as he collides with the first Seeker. He lands the shots onto Buzz, a 1v1 here. Stacks lands it again!
And even though Breeze was clean, we barely saw any clutches still from that one, and DRX continue to win them with absurd frequency.
The rate has to be outrageously high.
Look at this from Stacks. He actually brings this back. What was this even situation? Must have been a 2 versus 4 or something like that.
It's okay, Crashes. Not your fault.
And he's going at Crashies. A guy who's, I mean, both of these guys were inserted in the conversation, but they're both going at each other right now, and I love it.
What do you say? It's okay, Crashies.
It's okay, Crashies. It's not your fault.
What a nice guy. Don't feel bad. Don't take that personally. I'm just better.
Uh-huh. Gotta love it.
Optic call a timeout here. Still with a 4-round lead. But if you've been watching Optic for a little while, this is about the time at which they call a timeout, right? You can have a cozy lead, you can have everything going your way. The opposition wins 1 round, and this is often where they call that timeout.
Yeah, and remember, DRX has none. So if Optic come out and win this round, they've got a long way to go on their own. Coach Termy is not going to be able to add any input here outside of the Optic timeouts that they call. So, what have they cooked up? Optic are gonna light by a little bit. A couple of stingers, I think. After watching Jing, everybody's got to be on the stinger train at this point, which is hilarious because the gun hasn't had any changes since the initial nerf. Yet apparently still good.
Jing was the buff.
You want
Apparently
to
still
play?
good
Let's play.
Tour de force used from Ye. Stacks once again using that early flash down long to get Buzz in a position with that operator, so keep an eye on that. He's got that angle covered.
Oh, and RB is going all the way. Yeah, he's going to read clear, but this is a really tough off angle. Yeah, he's going to be aiming into bathroom. Meanwhile, Optic's walking up with their orb and wall. Close quarters now.
Yeah, you're so good. Yeah, you're so good. He can't push forward, so they still haven't cleared out showers, and Mako's there, but the Seeker in his lab, he realized once again that there are too many targets around him, and nobody puts Mako in a corner! He's able to find 2 big kills, the spike goes down, Zest does it too! They're now rotating over, but Optic still not full control of the site, and Zest gets another orbital strike in play, but you don't need it! DRX gets 7.
And the timeout ends up costing Optic, even though that round, I mean, the initial situation goes fantastic, but Mako holds in bathroom. Look at this. He's not worried about the flank. Obviously, yeah, he's inside of the own slow, so he takes all the time in the world to just finish this round out.
Well, and the truth is, he really had no choice anyway.
Sure. Smoke was there too, from his teammate that he played off of. And this is now money situation very, very low for Optic.
There's a flash into teleporter, hit back shower, so Buzz understands there's something here, and now the Trailblazer and the Satchel confirms it.
And the threat always there of a bathroom's pinch. But look at the position again. They're in front of sight already, but Mako doesn't care.
That guy has not given up an inch in these last 2 rounds.
Does he know Marv is here too? Oh, Marv is very close. With these smokes, obviously they can be out now, so Mako will consider.
Victor and Ye have joined him.
Flash here possible from Stacks too, through the smoke.
Crashies is so weak though. Oh, you're pushing into the smoke. What a mad lad. Tried swinging out, Mako gets 3. The spam is so good. And off of this, again, DRX with numbers advantage. It's going to flip, but
Down,
RB's still there.
Spike down B.
all the way down. Sandy just walked his way there.
30 seconds left.
Yay with the operator. And a 1v4 trying to hold on to that thing for dear life. Take as many with him as he can, but it's only one. RB drops him at the end. 10-8, still in favor of Optic, but it's getting good.
It's getting real good. Mako is turning up. We were just talking about the best initiator conversation, but we haven't talked much about it because they've been such stomps either way. But Mako against Marv is very much ongoing. And it does also feel like, I mean, every time we have a global tournament, some controller is coming out and popping up and saying, hey, this role, super important to the success of your team. I think of Sugar Zero. Back at Reykjavik too. Melzer yesterday, unbelievable. And these two in this server lead the charge for all controllers.
See this buyout from Optic, not very good. Marv has a Spectre. That's all it is. They're going to push in towards B. The Trailblazer, operator not able to land the shot. There was no layer to that. There was no one to clear that out for Buzz. He has to give the space up.
There.
Trying to nade the sky in spawn there.
Flash. Mr. tried getting something, and Buzz just stops it instantly. Great response out from Marv, though. You've got 2 kills with the Frenzy. Now you have the Viper spin in play. Operator pick back up. There's a window for this. They've also upgraded a Phantom in the hands of Yay.
And it's such a weird pit, too. It controls elbow. Stacks low HP here. He could die to anything.
Oh. He can die to that, too. And Stacks just takes another with him. Yay in this 1v2. Nade in his lap. Repositions. No, it's RB who gets 3, and DRX get to 9.
So many of these situations feel like they're in Optic's favor. But over and over and over, DRX just clapping back. Great reactive ult to try to keep RB out of there, but man, that hurts. When Finesse is the one to fall, the advantage gone. The lead gone. And a sigh of relief.
That poor guy's going through the ringer right now, man.
Korean viewers laughing. As Termy struggling to come to terms with this comeback that DRX is putting on right now. Not a massive one, not a huge one, not the one we were hoping for in any of the other maps, but boy, oh boy, do we have ourselves a final map 3 here on Bind.
Remember, this was an 8-4 half for Optic.
Yep.
And it seemed like the beginning of the half went their way, too.
Yeah, it was 10-6.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about the timeout situation. DRX has none left. So Optic just used their second, too. So these final rounds are going to be coachless. Termy, final chance here to put a stamp on the game. Same with Chet. And you mentioned it early in the series. Optic really, really, really good at the timeouts, but be interested to see the numbers from DRX after this series. By the way, Marv 20-12. Yay has significantly slowed down on this attack, and that's kind of something you expect, but here's the double satchel again with the flash. This time a stim added to the mix, and they're trying to punish the pit that Mako's put down, but they aren't able to do it. So he's still up. And the pit not neutered.
And off of this, he's going to have to be patient, but he can re-explore back into that pit. So, yeah, all of the investment of utility to try to establish Showers control gone.
And this is really interesting, actually. Optic taking a page out of the DRX's book. They're doing a much straighter wall here, which gives Yay room to peek on the front side of the Viper wall, if he so desires.
Flash into sand just a bit early, out from Stacks, not going to find any info. And if they play this quietly enough, I wonder if the Seeker's coming to play here for Stacks.
Have to avoid Buzz. Look at him trying to position against Yay, but this is actually going to come from lower. There's the Seekers you were talking about. There's the Molly, too, to deny Buzz room.
And they reflash for him to cross. Great stuff from DRX, but they're going back over towards Yay, who, by the way, is giving up all the control, and he's looking back at Bathroom, making sure there's nobody pushing behind him, but no way he can get value of actually pushing through Bathroom with that pit up still.
5v5 here, the orbital strike, trying to buy some time, trying to clear some space, but the thing is, Optic have been able to slip the net, but they walk right into RB. It's like they're expecting this pushback site. Zest is able to get it too.
An all-in gamble from Optic, and it absolutely gets crushed.
Crashies with the plan. Zest trying to stop it just a hair late. But they still have the advantage. They still have everything they could possibly want, but yay.
Okay, TP given the flank.
How much more can Ye find?
Stax is just so patient here, just giving space.
Can he hold this on his own? Mako on the tap to draw out the swing.
Board's
First
there.
shot goes wide. Swing out from Zest is clean as he gets 3, and we're tied at 10.
And it's DRX who's pulling off the comeback. It's DRX who seems to have downloaded
Optic here. That push through lamps caused because Optic does expect a lot of delay to be on site, so they want to push in the back of it. And we've seen that actually 3 times so far this half. The pistol. And one of the prior gun rounds too. And Optic cannot run out of ideas if they want to hold on to this one. Also, that initial attempt to deny the Viper's pit space completely shut down. Nobody there, and Victor gets nothing.
Toxins going up.
Huge investment. Get in front of the decay, break the trademark. They're in lamps again.
It's very similar. This time it's Mako who's here.
But they have a lot more time to work with here.
And the element of surprise, perhaps. Now they know that there's utility coming all over the place. There's someone on the other side of that. And now the Seekers. Mako repositioning up to bench, trying to clear out a couple. Good guy that he is. Drops the molly into Common's blind spot, but Victor with the stinger takes care of RB, and now he's upgraded a weapon. 3 rifles here. Marv still has 1. The Guardian in hand. 5v3 here in favor of Optic.
Lamps control for them too. Landed front sight, Marv on bench.
It's clean out from Zest. He takes care of Marv. Guardian out. And they understand they're still huddled up in U-Haul. You've got Ye who swing out. They all swing out at the right time. They all swing out together, and Buzz welcomes them. It's a 1v1. Buzz against Ye. Ye from up top. It's a thrifty round win for Optic.
And a Red Bull clutch from Ye too. 1 versus 2. And finally, one of those falls in Optic's favor. Right before DRX takes the lead.
Couldn't have come a moment too soon.
Ye again on bind. This attack sides, he's been very, very clutch. But he's been put into so many rough spots, so many rough positions. And the conditions this time too.
That's the one we needed. Good fucking touchy.
For as much as we talked about Ye at the beginning.
They tried actually to just put the smoke down, but it missed from Finesse. He hit the barrier, so they can't dodge that flash, and now the element of surprise is gone.
May not seem to care. The molly's there, but no. The showstopper doesn't get him. So yeah, they have long control, but now what?
Now Optic has to pivot again. The plans fail. This time it really could have netted a kill because Victor had that showstopper. And he is right on his way to get a heal from Stax. Meanwhile, Buzz has been posted up on this angle so often in the last couple of rounds. This time he has a tour de force and they're walking into him. Doug, without utility here.
Oh, there's something. Yeah, Buzz, you mentioned that angle. He did help for so long.
Does he know he crossed?
Repositions.
He doesn't.
Oh, Marv's on the other side too. Second flash in his face. Rendezvous used.
Yeah, he's gone, by the way.
Mako's not!
Spike down A.
The round has gone sideways for Optic.
30 seconds left.
As DRX refusing to go away. Yeah, Marv's gonna get a consolation prize in the orb, but the round is lost.
And this is a reset economically for DRX. A hugely important round. for OPTIC to have won. Obviously, it would have put them on match point. Would have solidified overtime, but this
10
time,
seconds left.
especially if they don't save these weapons, DRX is going to be the one who goes to match point first.
Gotcha.
RB on the backside of Marv. He has to pay attention here. Crashes get him, but RB gets Marved. So only one weapon saved. Only one weapon going to be able to be purchased. But Ye has his tour de force, so there's an X factor after all.
Even off of that weapon, it was Crashies who had no armor, so he's going to have to buy that much too. It isn't just about the weaponry. You see how in a game as close as this, where there is no margin for error, the tiniest things like that can have drastic implications.
They just pulled off a thrifty round out of the timeout moments ago, though. And they are audibling.
You want to
not
play,
going with the initial
let's
call,
play.
trying to abuse some specific facet. And with the knowledge that RB is in bathroom now, I'd be a bit worried given the showstopper that he has.
Very key there. Victor is the one who cleared out the Roomba, and it was with a frenzy, so they don't know at this point what could be on the other side.
Definitely could be some Guardians, some light purchase to catch him off guard, but that would be a massive gamble. A massive gamble. Look at Ye clearing this so slow and methodically. And he gets Buzz, and we already saw how Buzz was holding that angle. He was holding it exactly where Ye was looking, exactly where he was coming from, with the elevated position.
Yeah, he's showing you can't use his antics against him. You mentioned OPTIC had just won a thrifty round out of the timeout. They've got a chance to do it here. They have the advantage. Only ultimate there is Ye's, but Marv 1 point away from having the orbital strike. Little pop flash out. But yeah, the Molly's great delay, and the orbital strike does it too. Viper Molly goes a bit wide, but that's all right. They're delaying. That's exactly what they want.
Marv has got his now too. They can re-exit really hard.
Do they commit to this? Yeah, they do. Ye's able to get one. Zest swings out and gets a kill, but Ye with the third on the round. It's going to have to be thrifty if they do it. Crashy still has that Phantom, and Marv doesn't opt. RB joining the fold, showstopper there. The satchel across, gets a little bit of info.
What a nade.
Is it gonna hurt? Oh, Marv, he's so weak. There it is, showstopper, the dash out, and Marv drops him instantly. Another thrifty round win to get OPTIC to map point, to series point.
Both times, OPTIC is forced to light by, or in this case, save. In the last 5 rounds, they've come out on top, and they've flipped entirely the terrible economic situation that they were in prior. What a round. And thankfully for DRX, they're holding on with the economy. One Spectre, they still have an op, but a lot of light armor too.
Whole lot of light armor. Ultimate economy not on their side either. They're all so far away. Mako's the only one who's close.
They go for the orb again.
This time Buzz gives it away. Victor off the double sack.
He's in the nade.
Space. The nade
He's getting
is there. Spam is through. Stacks gets away.
And the fast pivot this time. And the same wall we saw on pistol round for OPTIC, I think they want to hit this A site, and they want to wrap backside again. The speed that Ye is coming over here. He wants to show up on somewhere else unexpected on the map, and it might catch RB. Slow and steady. There, he spotted the shoulder, but RB great to shoulder peek it entirely. And the pivot only just now actually happening for OPTIC.
Toxin screen down.
But there's there's no mollies available at all, so the delay is not going to be here. They have to fight. Mako's been great, though.
I mean, DRX have been great right here. And you're right, it was Mako, it's RB, and they're both here.
Left.
And they're rotating back.
Launching smoke.
Mark's going to throw another fake here. And with the flash, they might think they're pivoting, but it doesn't really feel like OPTIC has a clear idea either. But with this bathroom control, Ye can work a pick 15 seconds.
RB decapitated. Zest finds so much more value as he gets 2. But OPTIC are able to trade it back, a 3v2 here. 10 seconds left, they're gonna get the spike down. It's gonna be a post plant for the map. Buzz and Stacks now showing up. Buzz up first, and Finesse.
Flash over top.
Waiting. Nice shot out from Ye. Stack's not gonna do it. Optic with face like flint. Let's step forward and march on.
Going for the repeat. The second time this year they find themselves at a Masters event in the upper final. And boy, was it a roller coaster. We started with them getting 13-4, no, 11-1 in the first half of this series. And DRX not happy to be in the exact same situation they found themselves at Reykjavik.
You can't help but feel like if you're DRX, you can't help but feel like this one kind of got away from you.
Oh, it definitely did. The map veto and the way that this entire series played out, it looked like it was going to be a 2-0 at the start. So many players from OPTIC showing up and showing again that their bind may still be world class.
One enemy remaining.
I mean, what an emotional roller coaster, man. We talked about map 3 delivering, and it didn't look like it was going to, right? Remember, it was an 8-4 half for OPTIC.
Yeah.
But DRX, man, the resiliency that they showed.
Dude. Not to mention the 2 back-to-back thrifties when they were put on economic saves. That's just crazy from OPTIC. Because they were not meant to win those. They were not meant to be in any sort of position to actually fight until DRX went on to overtime point.
And you know, to do it once, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
something went your way, you know, a nade, you know, whatever, but to do it twice, that's so impressive against world-class talent. But again, DRX, they struggle around this part of tournaments. This is really kind of where we expect them to land, right? Top 6, somewhere around there. Once again, not able to overcome that hurdle.
Yeah. And it's gotta hurt. It has got to hurt for DRX. They'll go to the lower bracket once again. And that's where they fell last time, exactly in the same spot. OPTIC will face, at this point, I was gonna say unknown quantities, but at this point, we all know what Paper Rex will deliver in this upper bracket final. And we will get our Masters Reykjavik champions in front of a crowd here in Copenhagen.
Doesn't get any better than that, brother. It sure doesn't. Again, OPTIC are able to take down DRX. Map 1 was a stop. Map 2 was also a stop, but it just set the stage for Map 3. And what a freaking good map that was. Now you guys have to vote on who the MVP is. End zone MVP right here. Yeah, I got it right that time. Let's go.
I'm very impressed. That was
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Marved. Yay. Finesse. Lots of options. Actually, only 3. But you have to choose who walks away with the dub.
And I'm not going to do it for you. Normally I will, but I'm not going to do it for you this time.
That's a tough one, man. I want to go back to Ye because he had a slow start to the tournament.
Yeah, he did.
There were a lot of people talking about how he wasn't there, he just wasn't consistent, and he's normally the cornerstone for this team.
Sure.
The entire series, he was lights out.
Yeah, 8 first bloods on that first map. Made it that actually OPTIC was the lead in first bloods, which is crazy to think that they lost the map 13-4 and they were up by a significant amount because Ye's first bloods. And then Breeze, he popped off, and then Bind, he popped off too. That clutch 1v2 with the Vandal, clean. 24-19 to end the game.
24-19 is pretty good. You'll take that any day of the week. OPTIC, DRX in the books. But there's plenty more to this story. Copenhagen still up for grabs, and you're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
You can feel the tension. You can feel it. Everyone knows what's on the line here. This is a big rematch.
We're speedrunning this thing.
DRX is speedrunning this thing.
And Buzz wins another 13-4 as OPTIC just gets punched in the mouth.
The haymaker.
I'm confident. I'm not worried about these guys.
Nice! What do you think that crab's name is?
Why are you quiet? Yell! Say something, please!
OPTIC win 13-4.
And they took that first loss very personally.
And Victor with 2 massive kills, the third, the fourth.
Excuse
He's looking for the ace. Stacks. Oh, of course, it was a fadeaway at the end. Doing a little wiggle. Nobody puts Mako in a corner. He's able to find 2 big kills. The spike goes down. Thess does it too. OPTIC with face like flint, set forward and march on.
And those are your Prime Gaming post-match highlights. What a third map. Golden Boy here alongside Jess as well as Mimi. And oh my goodness gracious. I said it. Everyone thought I was lying, Mimi. I was like, it's going to be a thrilling game 3. And everyone's like, I don't know if it's going to be that, And now look at that. Who's got egg on their face now?
DRX.
Okay, well, I guess that works.
Yeah, I didn't know how to reply to that. I didn't even know what the egg comment meant because I think egg and
she's such a zoomer.
We have to teach you things. Anyway.
I'm lost.
Well, Yay taught us all a lesson today, and that was to never, ever doubt the Yay because this dude was on fire. I was looking at it. I think he went plus some wild number, like 21
plus
or something.
21. Look,
That's
he
wild.
had. I also did a little bit of quick maths on the dial as well. He had 62 kills over the series. We pitted him up against Buzz here, especially when you think about the chamber diff, and I think the difference is very clear. You actually don't need quick maths to this. I mean, it's very clear who was able to diff the other. But out of all of the 62 kills that Ye had, 22 of them were with the op. That's over a third of his kills were collected with the op. That is not including the massive amount of tour de force kills that he was able to net throughout this series as well. That just goes to show not the op crutch, ladies and gentlemen. Get that out of chat. Press backspace before you even press enter on that. Entire thought, it's that he understands what his job is. It's power angles, it's power positions, and he holds onto them strong.
You can't spell OPTIC without the op. And
wow,
I stole that from a tweet. That wasn't my joke. It wasn't my joke. I was trying to get away with a bit of a crowd there, but I've been caught for it. Ye was incredible across this series. We were waiting for one of these things.
Look at him.
There he is.
That's where it is. Where's Ye there? Oh man, you guys got to see this picture.
He's smiling. He's having a good time.
I would be having a good time if I was hitting that many shots as well. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were waiting for him to take over in a series, to have a Yay moment, what we expect from this guy, and damn did he deliver. It was absolutely massive. Some of those rounds, it looked like they were going to slip away. Oh, hey, tour de force is out. Yay keeps it going.
Yeah, by the way, the OPTIC players walked by us just as that picture came up.
Jimmy's actually just talking to the demons in his head.
I know. I really wanted to see Ye's reaction to that, but, looking good, looking real good. Was also something that was looking good for them, Mimi, was the thrifty rounds that OPTIC were able to pull like something out of nothing. Very impressive that they managed to pull this off multiple times.
Yeah, it was really incredible because credit to DRX, they were making an excellent rally on this attacking side. I think they had some excellent calls, great clutches out of players like Mako, but then back-to-back 2 thrifty rounds that are won out by OPTIC to keep them in this map and eventually to be able to close the series on out. When it comes down to the wire, this team is really good at making the adaptation and playing around a hero weapon. You notice in both teams, it's Ye with either a tour de force or a rifle in hand, setting up for these big moments, and those are just the backbreakers, the flatteners for DRX.
The op stone. You know it's good when you see Brimstone with
the brop.
The brop. I like that. The
Actually,
brop
that's funny because, you brap. No?
What is that?
No, just the moment you said it, it just felt like a gunshot. I'm really throwing it back there.
Jess is going to drop a new album pretty soon. Never mind, it's not going to be Doug and Bala. All right, well, we have our Verizon high-speed moment of the match, and I think we all kind of sort of know where this one is going. It's going to be Victor. It's going to be this wild play Mimi that he pulls off. Victor, with ice in his veins, just shuts down DRX.
What's his ice in his veins or luck in his mouse? I don't know which one, because this shot right here is...
That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like he meant it.
And then the fadeaway
100% accidental in that one. And then he dies, gets the ace from beyond the grave. A little bit of martyrdom in that one to get it going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're slowing this down. Ready, and shot. He's
calculated.
We have
calculated headshot. He meant that.
He did the math.
Oh,
There's been only one other shot in this entire tournament thus far that has given me, that's ridiculous vibes. And the fact that Victor's come out on top and trumped that and was able to move up to the upper finals, OPTIC, they're giving me really good vibes again. I know people don't want me on the NA train all the time. I know EMEA is down, my DMs for doing that, but I'm on it. I'm on it. I don't care.
It's a good train to be on about now because, OPTIC are looking at championship form, but still, I'm really afraid for whoever has to face DRX down in that lower bracket because I think they played a really incredibly solid game of Valorant in this one. They came into map number 1 with a great play and executed well. It was a stomp against OPTIC. Then they come on in, and in the third map, press OPTIC to the limit. Without a few of those kind of one-off thrifty rounds, wouldn't have happened.
Well, as usual, we asked you guys who you thought was the most valuable player of the game. And we have our in-zone fan poll results ready to go. And the winner is Yay! And I'm so happy that Yay won this, even though Marv played great. And we put FNS up there because he had some strong performances, some great calls, and oftentimes that is stuff that just gets underappreciated. But at the end of the day, it's the guy who clicks heads good. Yay wins the poll.
Yeah, totally deserving for Ye to win that one on out. Honestly, my vote was for Marv in this one. I think it was two of our best controller players in the tournament, two of the M controller players. We got three, Melzer, Mako, Marv, some of the best in the business, but in this one it was Mako, Marv facing off, and I think Marv got the better side of that. He had an excellent game across the series, even in loss was popping off, but for Ye, I mean, it's just that duo. It was how they won Reykjavik. Marv, Yay popping off, and it's looking to be the same here at Copenhagen.
I love that Victor's like joining in though. Like we talk about the duo, and that's what we spoke about in Reykjavik and whatnot, but I actually think that Victor's like forcing himself into the duo. It's become this like polygamous trio.
Oh, I think most people call that a team, Jess.
Well, a trio of besties.
Well,
that is Victor, Yay, and Marv. You know what?
On that note, I wonder what Marv thinks about this, because the good news is that we actually have Marv standing by with Yinsu for our Verizon post-match interview, and I got to talk to Jess for a minute. Okay.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy and Desk. That's right, I have Marv here with me today. Welcome, Marv. Congratulations on that win. When that game finished, I was watching you as you stood up. There was a lot of emotion, a big sigh as well. So talk me through how tough that game was for you.
Every time we play this team, they're very strong, so it takes a lot to beat them, in my opinion. The emotions we were going through were for sure roller coaster, losing the first map so hard, then winning the second map, and then a close third map. Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, to be honest, all the other games I've never really showed emotion like that. But I don't know, something about this team, they're really pretty good. So yeah, it feels good to beat them.
Yeah, talk me through the recovery, because after map 1, it didn't look good for you guys. You know, we don't see you get dominated like that very often. So what happened there and how did you recover?
I feel like the thing is, even though that game was really a stomp, in our opinion, while we were playing, they were just winning the clutches. So we felt like we had control of a lot of these rounds, but we just gave it away. So we weren't really too concerned. Yeah, we were pretty confident going into map 2, especially because I'm on KO and I love playing KO. So yeah.
Yeah, as you said, you guys don't normally show this much emotion. I could hear all of the screaming and the shouting. And what was that got you guys going, I guess? And what is it about this team that gets your blood going?
I mean, for sure, they were screaming at us up 9-0, so we were like, oh, that's how they're feeling? If that's how they're feeling, then we'll do the same. But I don't know, it feels like a rivalry between this team. Like, every time we watch them play, they're very good. Every time we play them, it's always close. So, yeah, I know this team is fun to play against.
Yeah, it's always a banger when you guys face against each other. You have a real chance of defending your title now, out of groups. Still in the upper bracket, you haven't dropped yet. You're going to be playing in front of a live audience as well the next time we see you. How different do you think the challenge is for you compared to winning your first title?
I feel like my team specifically, we kind of focus on one game at a time. So we're not really thinking about back-to-back or anything like that. Like the first championship we won because we took it one game at a time. So we just want to continue to do that. But how hard is it going to be? I think this time around, there's a lot better teams. Like Paper X is looking dangerous. Of course, Fnatic, of course, FTX. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of great games.
And lastly, I don't know if you've seen this, a tweet about how effective your timeouts are. Every single time, you know, Chet calls a timeout, you guys tend to win quite a lot of rounds right after. Would you be able to talk me through the protocol, you know, what is actually being talked about in those timeouts?
Well, usually it's just Chet. We always let Chet speak. So Chet has a read, then he gives us the read. He tells us what we should be doing for the rest of the game, and we trust him with our 100%. So yeah, Chet's the GOAT.
It's a good win condition. It's been working a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you here in a couple of days.
Appreciate it.
That is all from us here. I'm going to throw this back to the desk to close out the show.
Thank you so much, Yinsu, and of course, always a pleasure to hear from Marv there. But yeah, you know, that's a great question from Yinsu, Mimi. Like, just, you know, the coach buff, right, if you will. What someone like Chet brings to the table, and really all the coaches here, even like Barbar yesterday, and his emotions and everything was amazing. But I think that just is something that cannot be understated, right? The effectiveness the coaches have in Valorant.
Yeah, it's something that's really hard to quantify when you're talking about coaches, but for OPTIC, that value really does show through. Even in this game, Bind, when it got close, there's one of those tactical timeouts coming from Optic in the late round. Immediately off of that, they turn around, win that first Thrifty.
Yeah, I think on both sides of the coin, actually, there was some really effective timeouts. There was DRX, might have been map 2. I can't even remember. We had a long series, but overall, I think there is effectiveness in the timeouts, but also a lot of the coaching job, and I know I've had many late nights in my lifetime, actually comes before the match even begins. And so that's a lot of things that you're right, we can't quantify, we don't know, and that's something that I think Chet and the other coaches will be sitting there going, wow, all that work we did really paid off.
Yeah, and I mean, for us as audience members, when that timeout comes on through, it's a break. It's just, vibing out to the tunes, having a good time. But for the players, that's where the pressure is really on, trying to find a read, work beyond what your opponent might be throwing at you. It's really difficult. So big credit to all the coaches playing out at this event.
Yeah, again, everyone has just been playing their heart out, and we have had some amazing God-tier play. So it is naturally time for our HyperX, reflex moment of the day. And today's honoree is going to go to Jing, because Jing, Jess, is ridiculous. This guy he moves around like a gazelle with the blast packs.
You know what's funny? I actually think he has like a 0.4 800. I think he actually does like 0.2 1600 DPI, but it's the same as 0.4, 800. Yeah. So it's incredible to me. His movement speed, his mechanics, given that he has the same sensitivity I run, but I think he has an incredibly light mouse. I think his mouse like 42 grams or something. So maybe that's what gives him this
That's a
slight edge
statistic I wasn't ready for. The weight of his mouse. That's a new one.
I mean, that's
to
something
me.
I'm interested in. I go down to the nitty gritty with players. I can't help it.
One of those new like super light HyperX mice.
Well,
I don't know.
a lot of players have changed their sensitivity when they move down lighter, mice.
Oh, of course. No,
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And I mean, Jing is just an absurd player. His
unreal.
style
His movement
is so important to the way that PaperX plays, and he had such an incredible game today. I'm really excited to watch that team going forward.
Yeah, well, of course, our day comes to a close here, but let's take a look at the current bracket and where we are right now. You definitely want to come back tomorrow, because we have 2 elimination matches, and it's all on the line for these teams. We're going to see Fnatic versus Leviathan, and then we have DRX versus FPX, or we'll just say Fun plus Phoenix, because I'm sure that is going to throw people off. Jess, thoughts on tomorrow? There are going to be some awesome games.
There will be some awesome games. I mean, I'm a little worried for FPX given what we saw from DRX today, but furthermore, PaperX is in the upper final and Leviathan is in the round 2 lower. And if they move up into the bracket, and I can see it almost happening and forming, I owe you a very expensive watch. And this is something I have not forgotten. When I make a deal, I go through with it. So
don't worry, I forgot.
Somehow we're primed for this to somehow go through. And given what Leviathan did on their very first map in the introduction to the international stage, I'm a little scared for other teams. Plus, I'm going to put it out there, beautiful Mimi on the desk is going to have her LED tomorrow and then the last desk with us. And it has been a pleasure to have you with us. And I'm really excited.
Thank you. Well, what I'm excited for is those audience games, which are starting up next week. And I mean, in that one, we already have PaperX against Optic. That is going to be such a banger to watch. PaperX is such an exciting team. I'm sure it'll be electric with the crowd here.
Yeah, in front of a crowd, it's going to be awesome. And, well, you know what? Speaking of crowds and numbers, and, we started a drive. We started a committee today for Durka. Okay, so where are we right now?
Where's the
drive
army?
for Durka's social media cloud. 87K. We got him 800 new followers. Can we make it 1,000 new followers today? Can we get Durka to 88K? I swear, if not by the end of this week, if we don't get Durka to 100K followers, there will be hands thrown.
What if we try and give everyone if you follow this man, he's the highest rated player in the entire tournament. You might just learn a thing or two. Why don't we incentivize it a little bit?
There's already been a
What
cookies
would you
thing.
give the people if they follow him, Jess?
I already possibly owe a watch to GB, so I feel dangerous.
Will you give every person that follows Durka a watch?
A
Will you do that?
metaphorical watch. One made of paper.
I will give them the promise that they will see slight improvement in their gameplay because they will be following one of the greatest players in the world, and they'll be able to watch his clips, learn a thing or two.
That's right.
I don't know if that logic tracks, but he has some good tweets. I like Twitter.
Yeah, she likes Twitter.
You do pretty good at Twitter.
Yeah.
You do tweeting things.
It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day. Mimi, always a pleasure. Always respect you. Jess, thank you so much as well. Guys, I mean, look, it doesn't get any better than this. And it has been a phenomenal weekend for esports, by the way. So we thank you so much for taking your time to hang out with us here. But the good news is, baby, is that we're just getting started. We got more games tomorrow. We got fan games next weekend. It is going to be absolutely awesome. But we will see you tomorrow for some elimination games games. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you then. Peace.